Come on.
Oh no. It's all, believe me, trust me. It is all
Oh,
warranted. It's all legit and all sincere, man.
I'm
So
humbled by the fandom. Humbled.
absolutely.
Absolutely humbled.
Oh man, and I know that we've got a lot of folks that are going to be joining the chat tonight that are big fans. A lot of them have been messaging me on Instagram and in different things. So let me address real quick before we get into the discussion for everyone in the live chat tonight. We're going to. Mike has said that he is definitely wants to interact with everyone. So we're going to have a discussion for a little while, and then we're going to open it up. And so, if you have a question that you want to have answered by Mike, there for us to look at, please put it in the chat now and start putting your questions in or comments for Mike that you want to share. And if you put in any super chats that come in tonight, we'll absolutely move up to the front of the line. I'll be sure we get all of those covered tonight, but I'll do my very best to get all of them. But you guys know how this goes. I'll never get to everybody. It's just the nature of how things are. So if I don't get to your question, please don't take it personal. It's just how the thing goes. We don't. It just time gets away from us. Okay.
Whoa, whoa,
But
whoa, back up. I don't know how this goes. What the hell is a super chat?
oh, a super chat.
And
A
how do
super
I do
chat.
it?
It's all super chat is a way that people can support the channel. So basically,
Ah,
they'll donate to a super chat to help
okay.
the channel out, and I get a special notification when a super chat comes in. So I will get, because otherwise I'm scrolling through comments. So I get a super chat and it pops up, and I can just grab it and we can talk about it. So
You're
so
like the
I'm
buff door guy at the fancy club who's like, well, you can come in first because
I mean,
you're a super chatter. I love it.
basically, yeah. You go to the front of the line,
That's right.
yeah. That's right.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Smart.
I mean, I want to give everyone that opportunity because
That's
sometimes people
right.
have a burning question, and as time goes, those I'm usually about 10 minutes behind,
Yep.
so it could be a great question, but it gets just lost. It gets lost. But anyway, yeah, that is that's what they call a super chat.
I love it.
So
All right.
all right. So, Mike, let's start, if we could, a little bit back to the beginning. Now, I know that you
Ooh.
were born in Denver, I believe, and you grew up in Germany, right?
Littleton, Colorado, moved to Germany in seventh grade, right at the beginning of seventh grade.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
just a
So
question.
imagine going
Okay.
from like Colorado where you have to wear sunglasses most of the time because it's it's like LA sunny, right? And then you go to
Yeah.
Germany where there's no sun. So my one of my first days in seventh grade, this guy David who became my friend, he said, "You came to class like this, like you were a freak."
Oh
And
no.
I said, I couldn't see. Everything was so dark.
That's awesome. Enter in a cave, right?
Yeah, I was like, where's the light? Oh my god.
That's awesome. Now, I'm just curious. Was it a lot of times when I've had friends that have moved across the country like that's this,
Yeah.
and a lot of times they're in military families.
Yep.
So, was that the case for you as well, or
It
no?
was military, but my parents were civilian, and so we lived with the Germans on what's called the economy. But I got all the
Oh,
perks of the American system, which was an amazing high school. We had a $3 million TV station in our high school.
what?
Yep, jazz program. Like
Wow.
there was no funding issues with Dodge, which is the Department of Defense Schools or whatever it's called.
Wow.
Amazing experience. And then I got the other world, which is my skate buddies were all German, and off we went. And so that was I
Wow.
cannot recommend to those of you with kids
Mm-hmm.
go live somewhere else while they're kids.
While they're
Trust me
kids.
on this. They will be much um slightly less assholes like me. I don't know. It'll just be better for their soul, I think.
Oh,
Do it.
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's cool to have that experience, man, because you get to
Yeah, big
see
time.
how different things are, and then you grew up there, right, for most of your
Yeah,
childhood.
finished high school and then got a scholarship to
Okay.
go to college, partial scholarship to go to college, and left, but
Okay.
then had to fly back for winter and summer breaks. So yeah, did that.
Wow,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So you get through college, right? You
Hmm.
get completed. So,
Barely.
hey, man, it's no shame, man, no shame in that. And so, let me ask you, kind of like reflecting back, okay? Like,
Yeah.
what part in your life, or what point I should say in your life, did you have the desire or the passion to be an actor, a voice performer? When did this kind of begin for you?
My mid frickin' 30s. I never wanted
Seriously?
to be an actor. God, no. I dated a few of them, and oh, God, no. That world did not appeal to me whatsoever. My thing was going to be music producing, video production,
Okay.
doing video and film work. Basically, that was going to be my thing.
Wow.
And I kicked some butt in college with an advertising campaign. Ended up in the ad world as a writer producer for
Okay.
Ford at J. Walter Thompson and some other Sony and some other clients, and then eventually going freelance. All the time I was directing voice talent, right? To
Okay.
get my ads done. So this is how I got into voiceover. If you got time for this?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm in Denver. I'm working for J. Walter Thompson, working on regional Ford accounts, right? Which is like,
Hmm.
come to your local Ford dealers and we've got deals for you, stuff like that. So I wrote 3 radio spots. And at that time, it was, demos were sent on cassette. We recorded on DAT tape. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. I
And
remembered that.
so we had a wall of cassettes of voice talent, and we would select who we wanted and see if they were available and then bring them into the studio and do it. We had one cassette from a woman that worked on The Simpsons but lived in Denver. And I was like, I don't care what she sounds like, she's booked. And her name was Maggie Roswell. So I brought her in, and I was young and dumb and awful. And I line read her the script after a while because at that point I was a pompous little jerk. And I said, no, Maggie, just read it like this. Come to your Ford dealer and And she leaves, and the engineer goes, you've got that Gen X voice thing down. You should probably do voice work. And I was like, I hate the sound of my own voice. And he goes, yeah, but you see what she got paid per session? I go, yeah. He goes, multiply that by 12, the 12 dubs I have to make to send out to the markets. And I went,
Ooh.
oh,
Yeah.
whoa. Okay. So the next time
Game
I
changer.
went to that studio, I brought 3 of my own scripts. I read them. I was done in like 20 minutes. He put them on cassette. I moved to Portland, and I shoved that cassette. I was working for a .com at that time. I shoved the cassette under the door of an agent. They
Hmm.
signed me that Monday. So I was
No
like, oh, okay. Well,
way.
because I sounded young and I was young.
Hmm.
Apparently that's a thing in voiceover. If you're young, you're in demand. So I didn't know that. So I would walk from my job 2 blocks over to audition like on a weekly basis and put it on cassette. Didn't book a thing for a year. A year.
Oh,
Nothing.
wow.
Goose eggs. Didn't care. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I just didn't care. Then I started booking. Then I added a rep. Then I added another agent and another agent. Built my own website. Next thing I know, I'm freelance in the advertising world, and I get a call from a guy that's
Wow.
like, hey, this is Laszlo. I'm working on this game called Grand Theft Auto. Would you like to do a voice on it?
Wow.
Yeah. Off I went.
Wow.
And then I moved to LA, and I was like, this is way too much fun.
Oh
So
my.
off I
Yeah.
went, and I've had multiple reps and clients since, and some years are great and some years are not so great.
Oh, I have to stop you right here because Grand Theft Auto was this the which? Do you remember which
San
game?
Andreas, the San Andreas with
No way.
yeah, the first San Andreas. Well, the only San Andreas.
Yeah.
Yeah, way back in the day. And I'm just a
Hmm.
crazy radio caller who does the California like, I'm a woman in a man's body, and I think we should all eat organic pizza while sunning ourselves in whatever the hell I said. I just this random. I literally did that spot over the phone. Literally over the phone. They
Oh my
recorded me and off it
gosh.
went. I got paid nothing for it, and I got a copy of the game. But it was one of the handful of things that started my career, and it
Well, it
was
was.
so much fun. So much fun.
Wow.
And then I played the game and saw it, and I was like, oh, this is fun.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Because that San Andreas, I don't know. I had it when it came out. I mean, I played the whole thing when it came out. So
Yeah.
I've
It was the one. It was
so
the one right after Grand Theft Auto 3, right?
after 3. That's
Yeah.
right. It was after 3.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. It was still
yes.
kind of primitive. Like I remember the San Francisco level being just white blocks everywhere. That's all I remember.
They were trying. They were working their way up to what we have.
Oh, it's
Like now, it's
amazing. Oh,
ridiculous,
it's
man.
I play Grand Theft Auto 5 with my 5-year-old.
Yeah, our little secret.
He's not allowed in the strip club, but we just drive around and pick up things.
And that's fun. But let me ask you though, when you're driving with them, do you drive or do you drive GTA style, like
No,
running
no,
into
no, no, no,
cars?
no. I let him drive, and he always ends
Oh,
up in a ravine, and then I got to get him out, and then we go borrow a car so we can
oh,
get through the mountains
there you.
easier or something. Yeah, our big thing was the spaceship parts. We went around to find all the spaceship parts. That was all we did.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah. And
man.
then he's like, Dad, the cops are coming, but they're not after us. And I go, that's right, good boy. All right, you're learning.
That's right. That's so cool, man.
Listen, Grand Theft Auto is a great. It's the best economics lesson you're going to get, which is buy a
True.
place that makes you money, so you have passive
Yes.
income.
Yeah.
I wasn't taught that in junior high. Jesus.
Right? We're not selling cocaine, we're selling candy. We're
Whatever.
whatever,
Hey,
man.
the ice cream
It's
truck is a revenue generator. I don't care. Whatever.
exactly. It's
It's good
right.
lessons in buy assets. Don't buy clothes, buy assets. That's all I'm saying.
But bingo. That's so awesome, man. So after the Grand Theft Auto role or
Yeah.
voiceover, what would be and you're in LA now, right? It's 2007
Hmm.
ish, somewhere in there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I got
You're
there January 2007. Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
you're in LA now. So what would be your we'll save Scream. This is the answer Scream, and that's fine. But I doubt that because that was a lot later. What was your first like role where you got that paycheck for just using your voice for work?
That's the funny thing is the roles like
Hmm.
games and animation and stuff, they don't
Hmm.
pay like commercials do, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I actually had to turn down a game because I had a 7-Eleven radio ad that paid 10 times more.
Wow.
So yeah, that happens. But you know, my ego and my soul prefers doing animation and games. Like it's
Hmm.
just fun. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna object to a commercial client that wants to use me because
Sure.
daddy's got to pay the rent or a
Uh,
mortgage.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the big thing that hit right after I moved to LA was actually in Port. After I moved to LA from Portland, I got a bunch of Portland gigs. And
That's funny.
one of them was for On Point Credit Union, and I ended up being the voice of this credit union for 7 plus years. It was yeah,
Whoa.
so it was a nice little, like, "Okay, I've got money to live on now." Like, I'm safe. I
Yes.
don't I don't have to buy, the small can of salsa.
Right.
I can eat. So, okay,
Yes.
whew, that was one notch down. And, then I booked a bunch of Nintendo TV ads. Well, I wouldn't say much. I think I booked like 9 maybe, and it was just the tags at the end of the spots basically, and they were
Okay.
union. Oh my god. Awesome. It forced me to join SAG, which was painful, but I had to join SAG, because of it, and I did like 9 ads or whatever, and the residuals on it and the usage and all that, it basically gave me a down payment for my future LA house, which happened, later on.
Wow.
It gave me stability to just be comfortable in LA, so that was nice. Then the economy tanks, George W. Bush,
Oh no.
and all of us scarier voiced males lost our work for a long time because scary, aggressive, badass voices. I'm not saying I'm badass voice, but a non-comforting voice was no longer in fashion and no longer in demand. There were 2 years I don't even know if I worked at all, to be honest with you. I'm sure I did, but
Hmm.
felt bad. And I knew the economy came back when I went to a GameStop audition for voice, where they were doing the
Okay.
animation from the games and then replacing
Yeah.
the voices with actors. And I'm in a room with a bunch of big freaking dudes, like they're all bigger than me, and they go, "You guys have a rough couple of years." Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good to be back, though, isn't it? Yeah, 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 yeah. And all these big voice guys are like, "Yeah, we're finally back. The economy's rebounding. Oh, thank God." It was like 2011 or 12ish or whatever. It was so awesome. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm starting to understand what's happening here.
That's
And then
awesome.
little auditions here, there, and then came the big one, which was Spider-Man. And I had 2 auditions that were Spider-Man. One was for Underoos. So
Oh
like
wow.
kids buy Underoos or the parents buy it, and then they sign up their phone number, and then Spider-Man gives the kid a call. "Hey, you're wearing my Underoos. It's gonna be a good day out there. Da, 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 da." And the other one was for a game. And so my agent calls to go, "Oh, you booked the Spider-Man thing." And I go, "Oh, the underwear thing?" She goes, "No, the game." And I went, "What? What? One audition. I'm in for a role. I'm in for Spider-Man." Wasn't just Spider-Man, it was Red Spider-Man and Black Spider-Man. The script was 600 pages.
Oh my gosh.
And I only
Seriously.
I only was allowed to see the script for one night. which
Oh
is
no.
games. You're not off book. You're not off book. So
Oh, okay.
it's not like you're required to memorize this stuff. They wanted me to see the whole storyline, which was so generous and so awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, I read that thing until I fell asleep, like reading
Wow.
it. I was just
I
like, this is
bet.
so awesome. And every time I drove, I did 20 sessions for that because it was so many lines. And every time I drove there, I go, well, this is the last gig I'm ever going to have. I've peaked. This is it.
I've
This
reached
is it.
the
This
top of
is
Mount
it.
Everest.
This is the pinnacle. I'm done. Cut me out. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna be the has been washed up after this. That's it. And
That's
apparently
awesome.
that's how all actors feel. And
Yep.
I booked things since then that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the big
Absolutely.
moment. I became a full time actor pretty quickly. 2008. I was full time.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh, I was
How that
lucky.
was really
Lucky.
quick, Mike. That
It was
was
lucky. But I took
wow.
acting classes. I worked my ass
Nice.
off. I worked smarter, not harder. It's one of those things too. That period in our history, I was allowed to do it. Like I got
Yeah.
lucky. But there
Hmm.
was a lot of build up to it. I'm
Yeah.
skipping over all the classes I took. I'm skipping over all the bad workshops I did. I'm skipping over all the failures. I'm skipping over all the
Sure.
really nasty crap that your viewers don't want to hear about, the really sad stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sad stories that you guys don't need to hear about, but oh man, the worst is your agent talks you into getting a headshot package, right? A really
Hmm.
expensive one, and you get
Okay.
the photos and they look great, but they don't look like you. And so you go
Oh
into the
no.
audition and you see the casting director go, and then they see you and go, "Oh."
Oh, that's awful. What a
And
terrible
that
feeling.
happened to me more than once. I fired that
Oh,
agent and I got new
yes.
headshots.
There you exactly. I mean,
But it happens,
but it just goes to
the
show you,
industry
Mike.
is full of more failures than successes, but
True.
the failures are not fun to listen to on
Right.
your wonderful channel. So
Well, listen, but you know what it does show though is just if you just be yourself, there's an audience for you. You know, like if you, it's when we get into
true.
trouble is when we try to be someone we're not,
Yeah.
and then if you're accepted or rejected, it's bad because if you're accepted, you have to keep being that.
Right.
And after a while, that will eat at you, right? That would eat at you inside. To
You're 10 steps ahead of most actors at this point. When I teach my commercial voiceover class,
yeah.
that's the first thing I say is stop trying to serve the spec. Don't
Hmm.
serve what you think they want. You will never ever achieve it. Bring what you have to the table, see
Hmm.
what's on the page, connect with it, bring
Yeah.
that. Throw all the we need this, we need that, and you going, oh, I need to be that. Throw that out the
Yes.
window. It's never going to work. I still struggle with that. I still have to
Yeah.
remind myself, don't read the spec, don't read the spec, read the
I
copy,
bet.
then read the spec later. You
Yeah.
always have to do that. It's so it's fun and it's hard.
It's gotta be so because it's like part of your brain has to be like, I want to see,
Yeah.
I want to go there, and
Yeah. And
but if you,
your best gigs, you'll know they're your best
yeah,
gigs because you will get
hmm,
very few notes. You will get very few redirections. You'll get honestly, I worked on a big freaking film, one scene, one day, two takes, I was out. Swear to God. Two takes, and I
two
was out. Two
takes.
takes. Two takes,
Whoa,
in and out. And it was like the biggest name project I've ever done on camera.
that's
Two takes.
amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
And now did you?
The Nintendo stuff. I did one that
Okay.
was literally one take. One take. And I was out.
Now did you have a lot of prep time, or was it one of those things where you just went in there, the energy was flowing, and you're just hitting your script and going? Is it kind of like that?
No, it's your prep time is all your training, your experience,
Got it.
kind of what you do. With commercials and games, you don't see what's coming ahead of time. You get it that minute and you got to
Oh
go.
man, you gotta
Yeah,
go.
and with games, you don't even get
Wow.
a script anymore. You get a big giant LCD screen or an iPad in front of you, and they just give you a line by line,
Ooh,
and that line, hey, who goes there, right? For example, could be said
yeah.
1,000 different ways. So you have to listen carefully if they give you any sort of direction, and if they don't give you direction and they want to go, you go, and if they don't like it, then hopefully they give you some, oh, this is a friend. Oh, okay. Hey, who goes there? Okay, no. It's a friend you don't like. Hey, who goes there? And you just quickly
Wow,
just bang it out like that. And so you just
man.
improv. Improv is key with video game work.
I'm realizing I didn't know, I never knew the insight to how all of this works with the
Video games are my
voiceover work.
favorite game. Video games are my favorite type of work, but they're also the hardest, and they're also the least profitable.
Oh no, the one thing you love the most pays the least. Isn't that the
I'm
way it
not. I'm not
works?
in. I'm not in it for the money anymore. Until it's tax time. But yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
awesome, man. I love it. This is
Uh,
such a journey, isn't it? You never life
Dude, I'm
is.
an open book. I'm an only child, so I'm an open book. I just need love. That's all.
Oh,
I'm here to chat.
we have a.
You're the Craven something scary channel, so I know what you want to know about.
Okay, fair enough. I just had to get a little background on some of this because
Is
it's
that
so
enough
fascinating.
background? I mean, that is pretty much my history. I mean, that is pretty much
Yeah,
it.
that was great. No, it was. Thank you for opening up and being transparent, man. That was awesome.
What else am I gonna be?
Okay, so you're on Craven Something Scary. Obviously, you know who Wes Craven was and the legend,
Yeah.
and got my name in my channel after the man. He's my favorite director, filmmaker.
Aw.
So if my I would no I would never live with myself if I didn't ask you this question, and I'm sure you've heard it 30,000 times, but I have to ask you, what is your favorite scary movie?
Oh, I knew you were gonna do that. I'm scared to look back and see if it holds up. I'm terrified that I will find it cheesy and awful. But the 1970s film called The Changeling, not the Angelina Jolie one, the George C. Scott one, with
The
the red
original.
ball coming down the stairs from the attic, shit my pants. Like, oh my God. That just thinking about that terrified me. And then American
Hmm.
Horror Story did something similar with the
Oh,
ball coming out of the basement, the dark basement. So that movie terrified me with the kid who had been sorry, spoiler alert, but it's been since the 70s, people.
it's okay.
Kid in the attic's been killed. He's
Yeah.
haunting the place, and new owners don't know
Yes.
why. Not super complicated or anything like that, but I remember that terrifying me beyond no end, and I'm terrified. I just do not want to go back and view it for the fear of like, well, that was stupid. You know what I mean? Like I want it to live in my
Yeah.
memory as it did when I was like what 5, 6, like however I snuck and saw it. The other favorite scary movie, I wouldn't say it's scary, but it was terrifying at the time, was the first Friday the 13th, because I was at that age where we weren't allowed to see R-rated movies, and
Yes.
my friends had got the new thing called cable. And there was
Um,
there was this
I
thing called
remember that.
Home Box Office, and they played
Yes.
it, and I would
Yeah.
not take out the garbage at night for months after seeing that, for fear of some guy popping out of the garage and cutting me in half or something.
Yes.
So that had quite the effect on me. Those two, I think, are kind of like the oh my gosh. It might have been the Scream series had I been a little bit younger.
Yep.
But by the
Yep.
time Scream came around, I was, cynical, sarcastic asshole in junior high years. So,
Oh yes.
yeah, yeah, I'm still cynical as hell. So yeah, so those are my two.
Those are great choices. They're classics. Very good. I love it. Now, let's transition to the Scream TV series. I know
Oh,
everyone's on pins
my
and needles in the
favorite
chat.
gig of all time.
So how about
With
this? How about
apologies to everybody that has me booked currently.
exactly? That's
You're
right.
my favorite gig. Whoever is booking me now, you're my
There you
favorite
go.
gig.
The next one. That's the like Tom Brady said. They
That's
asked
it.
Tom Brady, "What's your favorite Super Bowl ring?" It's the next one,
Next one.
and that's the perfect answer.
I'm booked on some gigs I can't talk about, and I honestly don't even know what they are because they are keyworded.
Oh
So I
wow.
have no idea what they are until they come out. So they may be my favorite gigs, but nothing. I connected so well to the TV series of Scream, so
Hmm.
I just loved every frickin' second of it, and the crew I dealt with was awesome. Everybody was so great.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool, man. And
yeah,
so let's
real
start at
treat.
the beginning then.
Okay.
With Scream, how did you become aware of the part for the voice slash killer opening?
My LA agent,
Hmm.
it was Tom Lawless at Vox, who they sent me an audition, and there was very little info on it, right? It's just like, hey, audition for this horror project. Okay,
Hmm.
could be a game, could be a show, could be a movie. I have no idea what this is. And then I start reading the script and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the freaking opening scene to Scream, the movie. I'm like, I know what this is. What the hell? So I knew they were using an existing script just to get a flavor for the actors. And that way you don't know what project it is. And I've done enough video game auditions and I'm like, okay, they're just using a fake, they're just using a
Mm-hmm.
placeholder script to audition. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay, whatever. All right. So I used to get in my head and overthink this stuff a lot when I was younger. And this was, I don't know what, 2013, maybe 14. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And we had just bought a house in Highland Park there in LA. And I just built this. Yeah, it had to have been 2013. I built this fancy ass deck. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over my scripts tonight, but I'm going to have a scotch. I'm going to have a cigar and I'm just going to just read and just relax and deal with this stuff in the morning.
Okay.
So I get about halfway through my scotch, doing my thing, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, it's a Scream thing. And I go, you're going to fall into the trap that everybody falls into, which is you're going to try to do what the original guy
Mm-hmm.
did. You're going to fall into this trap. And I go, okay. I shut it down. I went, cigar out, drink down, took the iPad, went up to the booth, fired up the studio, and just let one rip. I didn't give two shits about anything.
Wow.
I was just like, hello, Sydney. And I just plowed right into it and I just had fun. I didn't care about a thing, except I remember my choice being, oh, I want to mess with this kid. I want to toy and tease and play with her.
Mm.
And
Love
so
it.
and so I then hit stop, turn off all the electronics in my studio, and said, okay, back to my cigar and my scotch. I'll edit this thing in the morning. And of course, back then I had way too many scotches. So, I wake up with a hangover the next morning and I'm like, all right, let's see how I need to fix this. This is going to be terrible. Oh God, I can't believe I did that. Okay. And I start listening. I go, shit, this is pretty good. I just went, fuck it, send it. So I sent
No,
it.
nice.
I
That's
just sent it.
awesome.
I just sent it as is, almost no editing, nothing. I'm just like, I could tell I had fun with it. I didn't care. It worked. I'm just like, I just let it go. I let it go. I'm like, just go. I'm probably not going to get this gig anyway. Whatever. It's going to go to a celeb.
Wow.
I don't care.
Right. Right.
Luckily, the voice booth director at my agents, Jason, who
Mm-hmm.
is awesome, at the time, he knew the casting director, and the casting director knew me from on-camera auditions, and I had a couple
Oh,
callbacks with
nice.
him. Eric
Okay.
Solier or something like that. Nice guy. And Eric called Jason and said, I'm revealing way too much information. I'm so going to get a cease and desist order. But Eric says, Jason, how can you cast voiceover work? I'm getting like ear fatigue. I can't. This is And Jason goes, just listen to Mike Vaughn. He nailed it.
I
And he
love
goes,
it.
okay. And he goes, yeah, okay. It was between me and one other guy. And because I had an ally and because I had a guy
Mm-hmm.
that, liked me and liked my take, I had a little bit of extra push. And so he pushed it and the casting director pushed it forward. And next thing I know, no callback, nothing, just you got the gig, go. And
Whoa.
I get there and is it Anthony Paglia? The showrunner at the time was fabulous, so cool, so nice. He gave me the exact instructions. He gave me the exact tools, the exact sort of motivations that I used in my audition, which was toy, play, mess with. And I was like,
Perfect.
oh, dude, we're on the same boat. Let's go. Boom. And after like episode 3 or 4, he disappeared. And it was just me and this guy, Aaron, who was the showrunner, or no, sorry, the post-production supervisor. And at one point, Aaron just comes down and hands me his phone and goes, just scratch track read the future episodes, which means you're just giving them a placeholder
Okay.
for the episodes, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's just so they can edit, right? Because
Oh,
I'm
I got
basically
you.
the last thing to go in the show. I'm the last thing. They've already edited and everything, and I got to
Ah.
fit a time window. So he hands me his phone, and I'm just like reading it as I'm reading his phone. And I get a call and go, we don't need you for a session. We're going to use your scratch track. Here's your check.
Oh my word.
Favorite gig ever.
That is insane, man.
Favorite gig ever. And I got to occasionally run into the actors from the show. And I had a little tit tat with Warren Beatty at the studio. So, oh my
Oh
god, I
my
had so much
gosh.
fun on this series. I had so much fun, and that
Oh.
and season 2, we didn't even know was going to happen. We had no
Hmm.
communication from anybody until a
Wow.
week before they wanted to book me. So I knew nothing, and it took them a whole year to come back for season 2. So we were
Yes.
like
So
scratching our heads.
did you
Okay,
like?
I'm talking too much. I'm going to shut up.
No, you're not talking too much. You're just this is great. So when season two ended, I have some more questions, but while we're there, when season one ended, sorry,
Mm.
did you have a feeling? Was there a sense among the crew, the cast, that you were coming back, or did you think that that was it?
We knew nothing.
Nothing at
The
all.
way it works is you make a show, and in this particular show's case, they made the show, they never got, or at least what we heard was, they never got notified of a renewal for season 2. And so you finish the season, you have no idea. You're hoping to hear shortly after, like, yeah, we're
Hmm.
coming back for a season 2. We heard nothing for a whole year. And so I figured, well,
Wow.
moving on. Like, okay, that was
Yeah.
done. It failed, whatever, fine. All right, as they do. But no, then at the last minute, they're like, oh no, we need him in a week. And my agent went, hang on a second. Season 2, we need to renegotiate. So
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a bump, not a big one. I got a little bit of a bump.
Nice.
And so that was, I mean, don't be like nice. I mean, it's like a little above scale. It's no big deal.
Well,
Um,
hey.
but we loved the gig. We loved the project. It was great. Um, and just, yeah, absolutely no notification. And even along those lines, I never got to read the whole scripts. I never got to see the whole episodes. I had no idea who I was, quote unquote, voicing. I had no idea who the killer was.
uh,
Never once.
Never
Never once.
once.
Never once.
Wow.
I was still guessing the killer when my wife and I watched the series. I don't like to watch the work that I do necessarily. I'm like, I don't need to do it. But my wife likes this genre,
Hmm.
teen drama like Gossip Girl. And this fell in line with Gossip Girl, for those of you that love this show, by the way. Uh, and so we would watch it, and I had no idea who the killer was. I swear, I had no idea who the killer was. No,
Wow.
I sort of was like, it's probably the female reporter after a while, and I was
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
But I had no confirmation. And then the what was his name? A season 2.
Kyrian.
I suspected, but I
Same.
had no evidence. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
There was a scene that, and when they're at a carnival in season two, and they go into this like mirror house. It's like a house
yeah,
of mirrors,
yeah.
and he comes running out because he got attacked in the
Yes,
fun house, and I
yes.
knew right then. I said, "That's a
Dude,
fake out."
I think I'm with you on that. I think you and I. Yep, yep, yep,
Yep,
yep, yep, yep, yep, yep.
that was it.
I think that was the same moment for me too. Yeah.
It was like I don't buy it. And the people were watching. We'd watch it every week together when they came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said, it's him. It's done. It's a fake out. Don't believe it. They're like, no, like that's not. He got attacked. I said, no, he didn't. And he said, look where he got cut at. He's fine.
Oh, that's
And it
funny.
totally was him. I said, I knew it when the
Genius.
reveal came. I said, I knew it. But
Yep,
it was
yep.
like, the fake outs. With Scream. If Scream One set the standard of this whole fake out thing.
That's right. You gotta have the
And
twist. You gotta have the
you
twist.
do. You got to have the twist.
Absolutely. Well
Um,
done. Well done, sir. Well
hey,
done.
hey, look, a broken clock's right twice a day. Okay, so every now and
I hear
then,
that.
every now and then. Uh, so you kind of answered one of my questions was like the recording process. So you know, you when you went in, you said everything was done, right? So you're
Yeah.
working off of screens, I guess. Like you're watching it. I'm guessing,
Yeah.
right? As
Yeah,
you're
it's in what's called picture lock. So those of you
okay,
that aren't in the film biz, the video biz,
yeah,
they they edit everything how they want it to look. Then they
okay,
go back into audio, and fix the lines that didn't work, add
hmm,
lines that they needed to replace or add, music, sound effects, all
okay,
that stuff. It's called post audio.
hmm,
And so I wasn't brought in until well after picture lock. I was never on set. They had placeholder stuff, and it was usually the post production supervisor or somebody,
okay.
maybe on the set, who just did the lines. They weren't acting; they were just doing the
Just
lines.
reading the line. Okay.
And so
Gotcha.
and so thank goodness the actors in the TV series were awesome, and they left enough room, and they reacted to what they would imagine the killer's voice doing to them. And so it worked well because you got good actors on the
Yes.
on camera side. And so they edit everything in and then they fill it in, which is why I was doing those scratch tracks. So then when they
Mhm.
were doing the edit, they could use my actual voice to edit to that, knowing that that's likely what I was going to do. Then normally I'd be brought back in and do them for real, but they ended up just using my fake, my
Wow.
temporary holder tracks, which was genius, and you still
It
get paid the
is.
same. So it's like,
Yes.
okay, I love efficiency. Oh my gosh, I'm such a
Mhm.
Western European mutt, probably German. I love efficiencies like that. I'm like, you just saved me how much time? I
Oh,
love you.
yes.
I love you. So
Absolutely.
it was fun,
That's
and everybody was just so nice and kind. Like, the higher up you go in projects in LA, the nicer, the more real, the better, your sort of, treatment is in a weird way. So,
interesting.
like, one of
Yeah.
my worst experiences was low to no budget film called Zombie Strippers, and I was
Okay.
a background extra. It's like the first week I got to LA, I did this thing, and Robert England was on the set
Oh,
at the time,
wow.
and the director was just a horrible human being.
Oh.
And the strippers was Jenna Jameson and some other porn star. Drama abound, and everybody was treated
Oh.
horribly. And it was filmed at this really creepy hospital location in East LA that's like has the worst juju vibe ever. So, I mean, I guess the location worked, but
Right?
I it was one of my first lessons in, well, if you treat everybody badly, your product is gonna be not fun to work on and probably
Yep.
not great. And I was
Yep.
just an extra for one day, and they asked me to come back, and I said, "No, thank you. I'm good. I
Wow.
don't need a little guy yelling at me for no reason. Like, there's
No.
just no reason for it."
No.
So, it's funny, like, it's that saying that, like with contractors, the more they or clients for contractors, I guess, the more they negotiate and haggle with you, the worse client they're going to be. And the best
Y-
clients are the ones that are like, just do it. And they pay your bill. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Yes.
like, it's kind of like that, if that makes any sense.
No, it totally makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. The most confident, better pay stuff is always the
mhm.
easiest to work on. And it's not what you think. You would think the big pay stuff would be harder. Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes, you would,
It's the
because you're
exact
assuming
opposite.
the bigger the budget, the
Yeah.
higher the scale, the more
Yeah.
egos and narcissistic
And nope.
kind of folks that
Nope,
are in
it's the
there, and
exact opposite. It's the exact
that's so
opposite. I
awesome.
had some
Wow.
callbacks at DreamWorks, could not have been more pleasurable. I
Wow.
mean, yeah, the pros, the names that you recognize, it just is such a wonderful experience. It's
That's
weird. It's weird,
that's
and
interesting.
I
Yeah.
hope your viewers learn that, like, it's not about working hard, sweating, beating people up, and, like, grinding. It's not about that at all. It's really about being kind, doing what's right for
Yes.
the project, and
Yes.
believing in what you're doing, being
Love
connected.
that.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
It's true. And I think, I mean, generally speaking, that's well said for life in general. You know,
Yeah, I
I
guess
mean,
so, yeah.
if it applies to like everything, relationships, it applies to, hobbies. I mean, if you just do what
Absolutely.
just that's the right
Do what you
attitude, and
love. Do what you love.
yeah,
The
do what
money
you
will flow
love.
eventually unless George W. Bush gets in office again and collapses the economy.
I think he's out of terms now or something at this point. But yeah, but
You
no,
would
I
think,
mean,
but, things have
you
been
never
pretty
know.
nutty lately. I don't know. Oh, Lord.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Now you mentioned a minute ago that you didn't have an opportunity. Did you ever have an opportunity to interact with any of the cast, like that, like on the on-screen cast? Did you guys
Super
have
briefly,
parties
and
or?
no, there was one party, and I got a last minute invite. Thanks, guys. Couldn't make it. But at the studio, they would do the ADR, the line corrections with the actors that were in the series. And so I ran into, and I'm so bad with names, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I
Mhm.
don't remember. I don't have my IMDb in front of me, and I'm terrible with names. I can't even remember my son's name. I think it's Tom. No, it's Alex. Um, I ran into, I think his name was Jake, the kind of jockey guy that got
Jake, yeah. Hmm.
okay, so I ran into him, super nice. I ran into Emma's dad, and I ran into the final killer, season 2,
Oh,
Amadeus.
oh, Amadeus. Yeah.
Amadeus. I ran into Amadeus. We talked briefly. And I think that was it. I think that was it. I think some of the other actors were in New York or down south at Atlanta, and
Okay.
they would do the ADR from there. But yeah, you would so they would be in session. You would show up. They would be they would be being dismissed as I was being brought in, and you say, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Da, 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 da. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. You're that." They had no clue who I was, and so they always had to tell them, "Oh, this is Mike. He's the killer voice." And they're like, "Oh, really?" Yes, yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Give me your
yeah,
cell phone number. You'll
but
reckon
but
you
but
would
the
call you.
studio was called Wildfire Studios. It doesn't exist anymore because studios are going bye-bye. Thanks,
Oh
COVID and
man.
technology. It is
Right.
what it is. And I went out to sign my contracts, and I was like, "Who's got this booth?" There were only 3 booths where you could sit. It's kind of like diner kind of setup sort of thing. And
Okay.
I'm like, "Who's taking up all the space in the booth? Can I sit in this booth?" And this guy walks up, and he is way good looking. And I'm just like, and he goes, "That's my booth. You want to sit there?" And I go, "Oh, no, I need to sit there. I got contracts to sign." He goes, "Well, you can sit there for a little bit." And I'm like, "Well, that's very kind of you." It was Warren fucking Beatty.
Oh my gosh. That's
That
awesome.
guy, so good looking in person. He would make me switch teams. I'm like, "God damn, what is he's like 80 or some shit?" He's like,
Yeah.
damn, in person, you're just like, "What the hell? What? Whose children's blood are you drinking? This is amazing."
Seriously. Yeah.
Oh my god! Like the in
Wow.
person thing was just like, whoa. I went to a union meeting once, and uh, what's her name? Oh, I'm totally spacing it. Older lady, you would think,
Hmm.
years ago, and you see her in person, you're like, God damn. Like these on camera actors, man. Oh, they don't crack. They just don't crack. They are good looking for a long time. It's like, wow, there's some natural stuff going on there. It's amazing. So I'm always like, ooh, sorry, I'm spacing your name right now. I don't want to get it wrong. But
No, that's good.
it was, yeah, you see these people and it's like, yeah, I get why you're on camera. All right, I get it. Yep, yep,
Wow.
yep. I'll stick
That's
I'll stick with voiceover. Okay,
Phew,
fine.
man, let me tell you, I understand because on my channel, 90% of my stuff is voice narration stuff, and so I do live streams. I love doing these live streams, and they're a real treat. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely at my
See, I'm
and
like
more
you.
in,
I like voiceover. It's a little more
that's
freedom, right?
there is, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel kind of more in my element when I've just got the cameras off and I'm just can just cut loose with just me and my content.
I'm the
Uh,
same way. There's normally not a camera in this booth, so
yes.
I'm the same way.
Well, I'm glad we share that today on this live stream. We can bond there of the camera.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. And passion. You got some
and
passion.
passion.
I got a little bit.
Yes.
I got a little bit, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Zombie
And
strip clubs. That's what I'm all about.
well, now that you told me about this movie, I'm gonna have to look it up. I mean,
It's
I'm
free.
gonna have
It's
to.
free on IMDb.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm
I'm just
watching it
one of the
tonight.
patrons. I'm just one of the patrons going like this. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. You can see me in a lot of dumb shit stuff. I'm on Jerry Springer's Baggage, like a reality
Oh.
game show that's totally fake. I'm on all kinds of dumb shit stuff. My favorite dumb shit thing that I did that I actually love, I went for an audition for a casting director that was casting for Westworld. And they were casting for some Netflix show. And I'm like, well, I don't give a shit about the Netflix show. I want to get in front of them for fucking Westworld, right? So I go and I feel like this is before COVID. Don't
Hmm.
freak out, people. But I was sick as fuck. I'm just like, oh God, I need to cancel on this. But I did the audition, and then they're like, hey, we need a callback. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm sick. I'll pass. Thank you. I'm like,
Hmm.
they saw me. I don't care. Hopefully I did a good enough job for Westworld. They call back and go, hey, the director wants to book you for this thing. And I go, I'm pretty sure you got the wrong mic. I passed on the call back. And they go, no, we liked your first take. I'm like,
Here.
fuck. So I go and do it. And guess what it is? It's The Toys That Made Us, season 1, episode 1 on Netflix. I'm the very first person and voice you see on Netflix's The Toys That Made Us. I
Man,
couldn't believe it. And that was fun, cheesy, but fun. They made me look like a fat Weird Al Yankovic. So it was fun. It was fun. And one of the guys in the background, I used to train at ground or no UCB with an improv school with, and so it was
Okay.
fun to see him and all the mouth and the makeup and all that. But the guy, the lead guy next to me, again, one of those motherfuckers that shows up that's so good looking. You're just like, God damn it!
It's
I'm
like, what
never
am
gonna
I?
work again.
Yeah.
God damn it! And he's so nice and cool and on top of his game and looks good, and you're just like, fuck. All right, voiceover.
Bro, absolutely. It's like sometimes yeah, you walk in and it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Why am I here? What's the
Yeah.
what's the point?
What's
What
the
am I?
point?
What's
Oh
the point?
fuck! I quit. All right.
Yeah,
So no,
time.
I know I'm the Jack Black, Jeremy Piven sidekick. I know that's where I'm
Oh.
relegated, and that's fine. That's fine. But I can still scare the shit out of anyone who pisses me off. So I'm good with that.
Oh, man, that's so good.
That's my wheelhouse.
I love it, man. I
That's
love
my
it.
wheelhouse.
You can just
Yep.
turn it on and
It's
there it is,
It's
man.
all
It's
thanks to big ring gauge cigars and whatever beverage of choice I have for the evening.
so good.
That's my biggest advice for all you voice actors. Get an
Okay.
addiction that fucks up your throat. That's where the money's at.
Oh man, that's the trick. That's the tone. That's where it comes
You don't want
from.
to sound like everybody else. You don't want to have a nice, clean, sweet sounding voice. Hell no. Quit that thing up. Screw it up.
Oh, Gary's
I'm
like the
seeing
I see
comments
something.
now on your screen. What is this?
Yeah, this is some of our people in the
Oh,
chat. I'm pulling some comments up there. Want to say
oh,
hello?
oh, they're so sweet. So freaking cool. Oh, please. Thank you. Come on over. I got a fire table. That's what I do now. I'm freaking 50, man. I just chill out and like, oh, when do I get to go to bed?
Right? I
That's
know,
right. That's
totally.
right.
Oh man, I tell you. So when I have to ask you a question about the finale of of season two.
Oh, my favorite.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I was going to ask you, what did you have a favorite episode? So let me ask you that first. Do you have a favorite episode? Would it be the finale or?
No, the favorite episode was that classic line where they had the homage to the first scene in Scream, the movie,
Yes.
where I screw with Emma and, I
Hmm.
play the ADT security guard. Don't call it ADT, but I'm the
Yeah.
security guard that calls and then slips up and then toys with her. Oh
Yes.
my God. Okay,
Yes.
that's clearly on my reel. That's clearly the piece that I show. But my favorite line is, "Who told you you could wear my mask?" That by far
There it
is.
is.
I'm putting that on my grave or where my ashes are. I'm putting that on there. Who told you you could wear my mask? And also, if you're a lobbyist, I'll be standing behind you in hell. I'm not a fan of lobbyists.
I have to tell you, man, if you wouldn't mind, one more time, because I've had people messaging me wanting to hear that line again about who told you where I'm at. It's like,
What is the full actual line? I'm trying to remember it.
what I
Hello,
remember
Kieran. Who
is,
told you you could wear my mask? Is that what it is?
I believe that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. With the same mic. Same mic. It's a
Ooh,
416.
this is so cool. Okay,
It's Kieran, right?
Kieran, yeah, Kieran.
Kieran?
I think it's
Pretty sure I
Kieran.
said Kieran. I'm pretty
Kieran,
sure
I
I
think
said Kieran.
it's Kieran.
Hello, Kieran. Who told you you could wear my mask?
Oh, that's so
Also, I
awesome.
was checking out your mom, and if you could give me her digits, that would be great. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Goddamn Verizon.
Oh, that's dude, that's all epic, man. That's so cool. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. I love it. It's so iconic, man, for the TV series.
It was
It
fun.
really is.
It was fun. It was really really fun. And so everybody knows too. I hope everybody knows this.
Okay.
I don't believe a single person from season 1, season 2 was carried over into season 3.
Correct.
Crew or cast.
Oh,
So not
I
even,
didn't know about the crew.
no, all new as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure this is accurate info. All new production company, all new crew, everything. So it was almost as if it got canceled.
Wow.
And again, this is what I heard. I could be wrong. I could be
Okay.
sued for this, but what I heard through my overseers was that they waited so long to say they were going to renew or don't renew that
Okay.
the lead actors moved on to other projects and became unavailable
Oh,
anyway. But it doesn't
okay.
sound like they were going to renew it. And the big complaint from some of the people working on the show was there was no promo money for it. They didn't have many promos. They had a
No.
set of billboards in LA. They didn't really advertise it. And who knows why? And that's
Yeah,
Viacom for you at the time. Viacom, whatever they make their decisions. It's
that's
fine,
true.
whatever. But eventually us
Yeah.
actors do move. Like even after season one,
Yeah.
I mentally moved on. It's like, oh, okay, we're not coming back. Fine, okay, let's keep. I always
Yeah.
audition, even when I'm in the series. It's like, no, you do your job. My job is auditioning. So you just go about your life and you're like, great.
Yeah.
The icing on the cake is when you book a gig or when it comes back. That's just the icing on the cake. Your job is you wake up, when you wake up, in my case, as close to 9 as I can get, because I'm a lazy fuck. And then go to your email right away and go, okay, who wants what? My New York agents, my East Coast agents usually want stuff pretty quick. And now auditions, thanks to COVID, are due, in a couple hours. And so it's just like my job is just like sitting in my office and going, oh, here's an audition, got to go do it. Oh, here's an
Hmm.
audition, got to go do it. Oh, you know, and
Yeah.
you just whack-a-mole. You just keep going and doing it, and that's your focus. And so I would take auditions to my acting classes and get tuned up with them. And then
Hmm.
next week, the students would all be like, "Oh, how'd that audition go?" And I'm like, "Which one? I do 100 a month." Like,
Wow.
and mentally, you quickly go, "Okay, I did this audition. I sent it. It's gone. It's gone." The only thing I do is if I'm in a slump, I'll go back to a folder that I keep on my computer called winning auditions. And these are auditions that got callbacks or got me the gig. And I'll go, what's going on in those that kind of got me the gigs?
Oh, wow.
And usually it's like Scream,
Hmm.
it's the looseness, the I don't care, I'm having fun. Improv, going off script, just having fun, being connected and loving what you're doing. Those are the ones that usually book the jobs. So I have to remind myself, okay, doing that. But for the most part, you forget. I had 7 auditions today. I can't tell you about a single one of them. I
Wow.
don't remember. I literally
Wow.
don't remember. And you have to do that because you will go mentally insane if you're like, well, why didn't they call me back? Or I didn't book this, or I didn't book that. Not the job for you if you need closure. This is not the job for you if you need
So,
closure. No, you just turn and burn. And I do 100 a month, and I've heard other talent do 30 a day. And I'm like, I don't have time to do that, first of all.
right.
And what are you auditioning for? If you're doing 30 a day, that seems too wide. Whatever. But as voice actors, we're all
Wow.
different.
Yep.
I prefer to be actor first, character, story
Hmm.
driven. I'm not here just to narrate. I'm here to make you feel something.
Yes.
So I go a little deeper. So I'm okay if I just have a couple auditions a day. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Wow.
And I talk too much. Jesus Christ, you got to interrupt me and tell me, Mike, shut up. You're
No,
boring us to death.
but
Jesus.
you're not. This is amazing. I'm just taking it all in. This is like this is
I'm
so good.
boring myself. Come
You're
on.
doing so good. No, this is amazing. I appreciate it.
You're
Like I
sweet.
say, it's just you're being so transparent and open, and I appreciate that, man.
I mean, seriously, what else is there? I mean, if I
Yeah.
can't explain my world to people, what's the point? Hiding and being coy.
Right.
I've seen those interviews, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're doing that out of insecurity and out of ego. When you're
Yes.
trying to be too cool for school and keep your cards
Yes.
close to your chest. Fuck that. My parents, oh my God, they hated my openness because when I was like 7, 8 years old, we'd go to Vail, Colorado in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They had property there, and it's not fancy property at all. It was like where
Okay.
workers live, right? And
Okay.
and I'd go up to people at the bar, in the late 70s, 80s and be like, "My parents have a place over in Eagleville, and we have one in Westvale too." And my parents are like, "Shut the fuck up. What are you doing? Don't tell them we have properties." They were all freaked out about me revealing too much info. And I'm like, "Why? Who cares?" I've
Yeah.
always been like that. I'm just like, nah, I'll tell you everything. I'm a terrible liar.
Oh, no one wants you to stop. See, Mike, everybody's chiming in. Look at
Oh,
that. It's
oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet.
I have to ask you now about, and pretty soon, because we're already approaching an hour now. You're
Can
being
you go
so
two? Fuck
generous.
it. Let's go long.
You want to go longer?
Fuck
Okay, if you could.
yeah.
Oh,
What?
Hey man, I've got all night, so
You're just
uh,
eating into my cigar time. Whatever. I'll live.
that's okay. Well, thank you. This is
I
great.
need one
So,
this week. Woo! It's tax time.
oh,
It sucks.
oh, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Oh.
is. Now, I want to ask you kind of a question about if you had feelings or not, and if not, it's fine. But I'm just thinking, like, the Scream franchise is so iconic. Wes Craven is such an iconic was such an iconic filmmaker, and the Scream franchise revitalized the slasher genre. It really brought horror back from a very very dull, kind of semi-dead place at the time, and it was mostly direct to video. And there was theater
Oh.
releases, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. Nothing was really doing that well, and so it's so revered in the horror community. This the whole franchise. When this opportunity came up, did you ever feel or think about how, even though this is a television series, it's still in the Scream universe. It's still, in fact, that season one, Wes
Mm.
Craven was executive producer of the season, and that's actually the last project he had creative input on as he passed away in August of 2015.
Yeah.
And so he was supposed to direct the pilot episode of season one, but we didn't know at the time that he had brain cancer. He kept that very
Yeah.
quiet,
Yeah.
so he had to pull out of directing he would have been directing that first episode, but
Right.
so I'm bringing this all up to ask you, um, the iconic Roger L. Jackson from who was the Ghostface voice in the films.
Mhm.
Um, how did it feel to be entering into the Scream, this iconic franchise IP world in a new way, in a new
Mhm.
place, and you're not Ghostface. You're something different. You're new. You're original. You're completely separate. You're your own identity, but you're that iconic voice for Brandon James, because when we see Brandon James, there's just the mask. There's no. You're the one that is giving us everything
Right.
for that character.
So so a couple of things. You're going deep and I love it. And you're right on some levels, but I was not as deep and critically thinking as you are. So you would have been better for this gig than me at this point.
Oh, come on now.
What happened was uh, when I did the audition, no
Hmm.
idea what the fuck this was, didn't care.
Hmm.
So again, the didn't care thing played
Hmm.
well for me. I didn't imitate, I just did me. I did what I would do if I had
Hmm.
to playfully terrorize someone. When I
Yeah.
got to the gig, it dawned on me that, oh, and I think I even asked my agent, I'm like, why isn't the guy from the Scream movies doing it? Why isn't Roger Jackson doing it? And I think my agent told me they didn't even ask him. So
Interesting.
then quickly, and this is literally as long as I spent on it, was like 4 seconds, was
Hmm.
like, oh, they're just going, it's no offense, it's no affront, it's nothing. It's that they need to distinguish themselves from the film. They need to
Okay.
make themselves an original sort
Hmm.
of trough, project, their own sort
Hmm.
of beast. And then I saw the mask and I was like, oh, okay, it's all coming together. This is just a separate,
Yes.
neighborhood adjacent project. It almost felt like an experiment to some degree.
Hmm.
And I never played into the, well, what would Roger do? What would somebody else do?
Sure.
I really was really focused on the direction I was given, which is toy
Hmm.
with them more, play with them more,
Yeah.
have fun with them more. And then at that point, I'm going into my actual experience as Mike Vaughn when I wanted to, this German kid one time bullied me. And what would it feel like just to grab him by the top of his head and just rip his neck out? Like, what would that feel like to get my revenge on somebody who did me wrong? So I brought up a lot of my enemies from the past
Ooh.
as a kid. And so a lot of you mother effers got done by me in my head. So I just went there in real life, like, you hurt me
Nice.
and I'm
Yeah.
going to hurt you back, but I'm going to enjoy this to every degree. So I'm on that track. And as far as
Yes.
thinking about, like, well, what are they going for in the series and all that? Luckily, as an actor, that's not my job.
True.
That's not,
That's true.
I don't care. And
Hmm.
even after the fact, I had no regrets. I had no concerns. I was like, I made the right choices. I felt good about what I did. I hope I was
Yeah.
scary enough. And then years later, you fans come out of the woodwork and tell me I'm very terrifying. And I'm like,
Yes.
awesome. I'm gonna keep doing that then because it was way fun. My biggest the biggest note I ever got, I'm gonna start crying because he died recently, is my uncle.
Oh,
And he always sort of rolled his eyes at my acting work. But Jesus, sorry.
it's okay, man. It's all right.
He saw me, he saw the Scream series and goes, that's what you need to be doing. And I went,
Oh
ah.
man.
So even if you
Wow.
look at my website today, it's like I'm kind of the asshole. And so I'm living an asshole world. I'm the good time asshole. And so that's kind of where I've been. I love playing the villains, especially Scream made me discover this too, because you're not the villain.
Mhm.
You're not seen, you're not heard, you're not loved, and you're right. And
Mm.
that's what
Wow.
makes villains villainous or whatever.
Hmm.
You have a strong belief, and that's really all it is you you know what you're doing is right, and you just have to do it no matter what. And those are the
Yes.
best bad guys. My favorite villain is Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's just like he's knocking glasses off the thing to demonstrate to the priest what I'm doing is good. I'm
Hmm.
destroying the universe so we can clean it up and make it better, and I can make some money. They
Yes.
all have a purpose. When somebody says
It's
be
true.
evil, be bad, you can't do that. You got to go
Hmm.
deeper. You got to go deeper. And that's just what I did, was like, okay,
Wow.
what did this person do to me?
Hmm.
Um, how do I feel about it? What do I want from them? And how am I going to get there? You you do that in 5 seconds and you have no other context, and you've got the script in front of you and a big screen that you got to sync up with, and it goes beep 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 beep, and you got to go. You've got
Wow.
ADR. Loop group work is some of the hardest but most fun work you do. I even run my own loop group here in Portland, and it's the same stuff, and it is so much fun. Oh my god, it's my favorite kind of work.
Wow.
And you have to be a good actor. You can't just, once in a while I get on camera actors that are like, I'm short money this month. Can you teach me how to quickly make money in voiceover? I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
well, I need to make real money. Can you teach me how to be a plumber?
Exactly, right? That's awesome.
Sorry, my little journey there was a little twisted and long. Sorry about
It
that.
was awesome. It was no, it was great. And in fact, we got a comment here from Bobby who says, as a 20-year-old man, the Hello Curian who told you to wear my mask scared the living blank out of me in the finale. That means Mike is doing his job right.
I hope so. I hope
Jordan says
so.
this is dope.
Thanks, Jordan
Yes.
Talks Film.
We're
Awesome.
we're having a great time. This is so awesome.
Awesome.
Um,
Good.
so it's
You want
so cool that I was telling my wife earlier. I was said, I remember watching these every week when they were coming out new. Like each week a new episode was dropped
yeah,
on MTV, and I had a watch party. We all watched it together, and because it was the first Scream show of any kind since
in a
Scream
while. Yeah.
4 in
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
So, and I said, if I could have talked to my younger self 8 years ago, whatever it is now, and said, hey, in March of 2022, you're going to be having a conversation with the voice of Brandon James right there you're listening to, I would be like, what are you talking about? Give me a break? There's no way. And it's a bit surreal,
That's
man. So
funny.
it's a real honor. It really
Oh,
is.
please.
It's
We're all just people. We're all just
That's
people.
true.
And we felt that. I've made friends with some LA types, and I can't drop names, but I've made friends. So my wife was into certain adults primetime soap operas like 90210 and Melrose
Oh yeah,
Place.
yeah.
Well, I made good friends, and we're still good friends with one of the actors that went the
Oh,
full series. And same thing. I look back at her and I go, so when we started dating again, you ever thought you'd be having a weekend out at the beach with Mr. So and so over there? She's like, jerk, I know. So yeah, we're always like blown away by that. And it's funny
that's
too,
so
when you
cool.
live in LA, you do run into people and stuff, and
Hmm.
you quickly notice that they're not surrounded, they're not questioned, they're just treated like people for the most part.
Yeah.
So my wife did scare the crap out of Elizabeth Taylor before she died, though. Oh,
Really? Oh, you must
yeah.
do
She
do tell.
we were at what's that famous part? The Abbey in West Hollywood, and we're with friends, and this little tiny woman in a green little like suit, pantsuit kind of thing with a green hat came in surrounded by really good looking men and came into the place, and they got their own table and they sat down, and everybody starts elbowing each other, and they're like, what? And they go, that's Elizabeth Taylor. And you could barely see her. Like, she's tiny and she's old
Really?
at this time. She's really old at this time. This was
Sure.
just a matter of, I think, maybe months before she passed
Oh,
away.
wow.
And everybody's just like, whoa. And Megan, my wife, went up to go to the bathroom and walked past her. And then when she came back, she was getting up to go somewhere, and Megan just like kept looking at her. And then Megan said she went and like freaked out because she didn't realize she was like,
It's a look on her face is probably like,
it happened.
yeah.
It happens sometimes. And Megan also freaked out when she saw this guy Rami who was on Project Runway. Like, she wouldn't approach him, and I'm like, what? A Project
Why
Runway
did,
contestant? You wouldn't approach him? Like, that's about as approachable as it gets. Like, whatever. Meanwhile, I had another friend who's famous in his own right. He's a drummer. He was on The
okay.
Voice. He was the
Yeah.
house band drummer on The Voice.
Yeah.
He was a friend of mine, and we were walking through that mall in Sherman Oaks, the Galleria, and here comes Fred Willard, and my friend goes,
No.
hang on a second. He goes, Fred, I love your work. Da, 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 da. Shakes his hand, and it was all good, and like, oh, thank you. It was very nice in exchange and all that. So even this pretty famous drummer is,
Wow.
being
Yes.
kind of friend, and he was very outgoing, and it was very sweet, and it was nice, but that's not common. Most of the time it's like, you kind of leave him alone. It's
Yes.
really funny. We had a lot of sightings. The biggest, we kept seeing Ed Helms everywhere. Apparently we lived in his neighborhood, so we saw him everywhere. My
Oh,
favorite
that's
sighting was
crazy.
Butch Vig from Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Butch Vig is at this little dinky Starbucks in like the parking lot of a Vaughn's, basically like a grocery store, and he's there with his little daughter. It's so cute, and we're all in
Oh.
line, next to him while he sits there. And as I pass him, I just kind of give him a little like, "Hey, Garbage 2.0 is the best album ever produced in the history of albums." And he goes, "Thanks." I was like, I don't care if he was annoyed. I was just like,
Yeah.
I
You,
can't
you
blame
had
him
to
on
do
that
it.
one. Because it is. I mean, Garbage 2.0 is by far the best produced album ever. No questions asked. I challenge anybody to show me a better produced album than that. I got to grab my brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack says, Mike, your performance was awesome those first two
Thank
seasons.
you. Thank you.
Got a lot. You're getting lots of
Lots of
lots of
love.
folks here. Lots of love in the chat. Bobby has sent in a question. We got a $10 super chat. Thank you, Bobby, for your support. For, as always for the channel. Says Mike, if you had to guess who killed Curran in the prison, Kevin Duvall, Brandon James, Troy James, or somebody else, I'm very curious to see who you think
So,
the killer
okay.
was.
Sorry, I didn't watch season 3. I was in the middle of
No,
moving.
season two, season two, season two.
No, I
Sorry.
know, but Kieran
Oh, okay.
wasn't killed yet. My last line to him is, "Who told you you could wear my mask? He's still alive." Or was he killed?
I'm trying to remember. I thought he was killed in the jail because when Brandon James or the mask, remember, came in
My
the
memory
jail
is,
cell.
I say that line, he hangs up, screen goes black. So did they say
I
something in season 3?
no.
Well, then I'm an asshole who didn't finish the whole episode.
I'm
I'm
pretty
trying.
sure I remember him. And Bobby's a super fan of the series, and
Bobby, write again if you can,
yeah,
and tell us, is this still in the episode, that final episode? Because I
okay.
honestly don't remember it. Or is it something they talk about in season 3? Or is it part of that Halloween special that
No,
they had after that?
this was after the Halloween special. This was the very last episode when he's in jail. They
So the
arrested
way I
him.
recorded this
Okay.
was I went through the season. They brought me back later for the Halloween episode. So in my mind, the Halloween
Oh,
episode
maybe that
was
was it
after
then.
Kieran.
Man, you know what, Bobby? Yes, let me let
Clear
us
it
know,
up, Bobby.
Clear it up. But let's while we're
Come
here.
on, let's see this.
That's right. Let's pretend for a
I'm so
moment.
sorry if I'm wrong. Oh my god.
Oh
seriously,
no, no, it's okay. It's
I
not a big deal.
seriously,
It's fine.
and actually, I do remember this. I remember saying that line and flicking up the phone to the next line. That was it.
that was
That
it.
was it. There was no stage direction, nothing. So they may have censored the script from me. I may have missed it, but I'm pretty confident that no, I said that line.
Okay.
It went to black, and that was the cliffhanger for what they were hoping would be a season 3.
Okay. All right. Well,
I could
Bobby,
be wrong.
help us if they've added that in. Let's remind help us out. But let's go this way, Mike. Let's say either way, like
Okay, either way.
either way, when the phone call is made, he's on the
Mm-hmm.
phone, and so we know that there's another person involved, right? One of these.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Kevin Duvall, and then which was Emma's uh,
Dad.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Brandon James, of course. We knew Brandon. And then his brother, Troy. Do you have an opinion? What's your thought?
I don't
On who
think
you think it
my
was?
opinion, even though I have no information.
Sure.
And do you want me to break some hearts right now?
Break it. Let's go.
Okay.
Bring out the sledgehammer.
So I'm pretty confident that this was treated like most TV series where they don't even think about those answers until they're paid to write the next season. And because the next season wasn't bought, I think they probably would have written in their own answer later. So unless unless Bobby's like, you're an idiot and you missed this, and I'm like, crap, okay, you're right. Okay. Oh, there he responded.
Here we go.
Kieran gets killed
Gets
in the
killed.
Halloween special. Okay, Mike is
Okay.
right. Okay, it did fade to black, but Kieran was killed in the first 10 minutes of the Halloween special.
There we go.
How did I miss that? Okay, so valid question then, Bobby. Who killed him? My honest answer is I don't even think the writers knew. I think that was a bit that they used to then say, well, hey, you got to renew us for season 3. I mean, we got this cliffhanger. But I don't think it's going to be any of the Jameses because that hasn't happened, right?
Oh,
And I
no.
certainly don't think it's Emma's dad because I met him and he's super nice and he's so nice he doesn't have that killer spirit that I do.
Ooh,
So I think it
love it.
would have been the next person who Kieran hurt, which didn't he kind of screw up his brother?
Oh, my brain.
I think he might have screwed Bobby. Help us out here.
Help, Bobby.
I,
You're our
I
expert
think he
tonight,
tortured
Bobby.
his little brother. So if you ask me, I think his little brother's
so.
like, you took my mask. This was supposed to be my journey. Stab,
That
stab,
makes
stab, stab.
sense.
I also think it was probably Kevin Hart because he works in everything. So it was probably just Kevin Hart.
He was hiding somewhere.
Yeah, it was Kevin Hart and another guy on which shoulders he was sitting upon. And
Oh, you had to go there.
sorry, I just watched the Kevin Hart roast again. I can't help myself. Well, no, it was the Justin Bieber roast, but Kevin Hart.
Oh my god! Oh gosh,
was
Kevin,
good. Oh, I
he
love
does
his
show
roast.
up. Literally, though, he does show up everywhere. He does.
does
You're
show up
right.
everywhere.
I shot him 6 times and sent him with a $5 super chat. Thank you, man, for your support. Says, I just want to know. Oh no, I'm sorry. I just want to say y'all did a great job making it. It felt like Scream with a Friday the 13th type twist to it. The voice is what sold me to keep watching.
You're very sweet. I had nothing to do with making it other than the voice, so you should send that. Go on IMDb and Paglia. I think Nick Paglia was the showrunner, and Aaron, the post production supervisor, and the writers, and all that. Some of them have their personal emails out there. You can drop in their DMs. Definitely thank them because I think I've gotten a lot of attention that other people deserve for working hard on that show. To be quite honest,
Nice.
I mean the makeup people, good God, that thing was
Oh,
gory. I mean, cutting people
it.
in half, and it's on MTV. I'm like,
I
what?
know, right? I was shocked when
Yeah.
that scene came up with Emma's boyfriend at the far at that. I was like, I felt so bad for Emma, and he's sitting there in that chair, and that thing's going
Oh my
behind him. I
God.
said,
I
"What
couldn't
the
believe it.
heck?"
I couldn't believe
That
it.
was.
Yeah, but we can't see titties. Really? All
Oh yeah,
right.
no, don't do
All
that.
right.
Nope, we got no to the tatas.
The notice
Um,
it does. You
so
can slice a brother in half.
yeah, exactly.
He killed
Bobby.
his cousin Ellie, but Ellie died. Oh, it was his
So is it?
cousin.
I think that's his cousin. I
We
think that was his
suck.
cousin Eli. Yeah, everyone's saying
We
Eli.
suck. We
Yep.
suck.
Uh, Yeah, I'm a super fan. Yeah, you are, Bobby. Bobby is a super fan of this
Yeah,
TV
you
series.
are.
He
Damn,
is.
Bobby.
Oh
Damn,
yeah.
Bobby. Damn, Bobby.
Okay, now this is interesting. I'm like, okay, um, uh, this is a great thing. I love this. We need you to in Scream Six
Okay.
and the revival series because they're talking about bringing back the television series. It's all
Yeah.
rumors are going everywhere. Phone call back to back to the protagonist with you and Roger Jackson would be
Oh,
legendary. Could you
I
imagine?
I would kill to work with Roger Jackson in any shape or form. We even had the same agent for a while, and I don't know if I
Oh,
ever auditioned with him, but what an honor and what fun that would be. My dream is to do a Comic Con, Horror Con, or Game Con with him on the same panel or something, and just
yes.
go get drinks with him, and me and him sit at the bar and scare the shit out of people all day. That's all I want to do. That
Could
would
you
be
imagine?
that'd be delightful. That would just be delightful. But we've never. I don't think we've ever talked or met. I have no idea because you don't remember these things. Like back in the day
Sure.
before we submitted from home, we had to drive into our agent's voice booth to do auditions. It's
Okay.
possible I ran into him and didn't, and we didn't. We hadn't. You don't really get names. You just kind of do your job and leave. So it's possible we've met, but I don't know. And he's never reached out to me, so I'm heartbroken. But I'm also never reached out to him because
Yeah.
I've got a 1 year old and a 5 year old, and like I said, I'm old. I have about just enough time to look at some boobies on Instagram, and that's about it. And then I gotta go to bed.
Man, I tell you though, there's something to this, Mike. Someone should organize you and Roger L. Jackson to have a standoff, not like a showdown of ghost face voices, or like you say, just
Or
terrorize
just a
people.
conversation.
Just a conversation
Hey, how's it
where
going? Who'd you get today? Oh, really? Yeah, I heard she's easy. Just back and forth.
I'll tell you what, I could sit here for the next 20 minutes and just listen and just say, Mike,
Uh,
go into your Brandon James voice. Let's
hey,
go. And
if somebody wants to book him on Cameo and pay me my rate, I'll do it. I'm all about the bling bling. You know what? You just gave me an idea. I got offered to do a horror con last fall in Idaho, and it didn't work out, timing and whatnot. And
okay.
I'm considering doing them. I sort of was worried about the time. My wife was pregnant at the time. There's been COVID. I was kind of like, on the fence. But now I've got multiple people shouting at me, "Go do the meet and greets. Go do
Do
it." And
it.
I'm like, okay. I listen. I got to put my manager on it because I don't
Yes.
know who to contact. I don't know how to negotiate these things. I don't know what's expected. So if your fans right now want to do a couple things, one, tell me now or later
Hmm.
in my DMs or whatever
Hmm.
what they would like to get out of the experience of meeting me. Is it just a signature? Is it a chat? Like what do you guys want when you go to these things? I've only been to one, and it was when I was Spider-Man for the 2008 Comic-Con. I didn't really get. Listen, I'm old. It's not my culture. It's kind of like, okay, well, what do I do? I love meeting you. I love meeting
Yeah.
fans. I love talking about myself because I'm a narcissist. So, what should I do with these things? Also, if you pitch me, I guess, to any Comic Con that you would go to, and then they book me, I'll hook your ass up. We'll go out for drinks or whatever. Like I will hook your
Nice.
ass up if you hook me up because I don't know how to do this. And if I got to put my manager on it. So it's like, if you save us some time, I will hook your ass up at whatever convention you get me booked at or help get me booked at. You just tell them, hey, you should get Mike Vaughn. He's down for it. Great. They can contact me. We'll book it. You remind me, hey, jerk off, I got you that thing. And I'll be like, okay, tell me who you are when you get in line. We'll go meet up. We'll go do what you want to do afterwards, and we'll just have
That's
a big old
awesome.
party on me. So
What an
that's my
invitation,
off. That's
guys.
my offer because I'm
Wow.
lazy and I don't like sales and I don't like reaching out and selling myself. I hate it. But I would love to meet fans and just chat. At that 2008 Comic Con, I met the voice of Grand Theft Auto 4, Michael
Oh,
Pollock or whatever.
really?
We had such a great conversation. Oh, it was
So
so cool.
cool.
That was cool. That was cool. I need to reach out to him and be like, all right, dude, what did you do? What do I need to do if I'm going to do this? But I'm
Yeah.
fascinated by it now that my kid's getting older and she can walk and stuff. I might have some freedom to go knock out
Yeah.
some autographs.
There
What
you
do
go.
you do you go to some?
Man, I have not. I have not. I watch them all the time. I know, right? I watch them all the time on like
Mr.
YouTube and
Superfan
stuff.
doesn't go and
I don't. I
doesn't
know
go
I
to the meet and
should.
greets.
I know a couple of people that are going to. There's one coming in Texas. I'm in Houston and in the Texas, but it's not in Houston. But anyway, I think it's in Dallas. But we're either way, it's coming in here to Texas, and he's going to be coming down for it. And it's going to have Nev Campbell and Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard and Jamie Kennedy. It's like the whole Scream reunion of '96, and I'm like, and also Nancy Ann Ritter, who I've
Mm-hmm.
interviewed before and which you talked about earlier, who
Nice.
has a part in Scream '96. She is now starting to do the Comic Con circuits, and she's got 4 booked already. And so I'm telling you,
Wow.
Mike,
All right.
there is a lot. I'm telling you, you would be shocked. Well, you probably wouldn't be
I
shocked, but
think I think my odds for the video game ones are better. I have a
okay,
tremendous amount of video game credits, but I love the horror
yes,
cons because that's just more fun. But
yes,
I would like to keep it to where I have friends and family. I have I'm adopted and I just found all my biological relatives.
oh,
So I
nice,
need to go to Dallas, Oklahoma, Denver, Seattle,
wow,
Atlanta. Of course I would do New York, LA, Chicago, all the big ones, all that. Whatever. I'm down for whatever, but I need the fans to tell me what to do right so I don't screw it up big
yes,
time.
yes.
Like,
I
what do you guys expect when you meet people at these things? Because I have no freaking clue other than I've seen the ones where it's like, pay me $20 and I'll sign a photo. And I'm like, "Oh, I can do better than that. I mean, we can record your voice and email
nice.
you the demo or something. I don't know.
That's so cool, man.
I don't
That you
know.
would,
I'm trying.
you
I'm
know,
trying to be different and like
yeah.
interact more. Is all.
That's refreshing, honestly, man. That's very refreshing because
That's because
'cause
I'm
I
an
think
idiot and I don't know.
I call it charming and giving. It's
That's
so
kind of you. My wife would disagree strongly. She's like, so "What's your angle?"
right.
Money.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Carrie says you're
All
too
right.
cool. You need to do meet and greets, Mike. Oh, and you got to do the Brandon James voice.
I've been doing it all night. Can't you get it? All you do is drop back to the back of your throat and drop it down once in a while. You just be a cat. That's all you do. So
That's so
easy.
cool, man. I tell you, I love it.
My favorite thing is I get emails from people that are like, "Can I have the voice changer you use when you do the gig?" I'm like,
There's
"Not a
no.
voice
That's
changer.
it's in
Good
my
luck with
throat.
that." And I had one kid in England that was adamant. He was just adamant about making a voice changer to sound like me, and he thought that he needed me. And I said, "Listen, here's how this works. When I recorded, it was just my voice. Like literally. I think I Skyped with him. I'm just like, look, this is my voice. There's no voice changer. Off, on. Like that's how this works." And he goes,
That's
"Oh." And he goes, "But they said in the show it's a voice changer." And I go, "Yes, but that's not real. But when it is a voice changer, like Siri, like Alexa, like these things like that, do you know what goes into that?" And he's like, "No." And I go, "Well, I got a call back and they don't tell you who it is. They don't tell you if it's Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. They don't tell you who it is. But I got a call back for an AI voice, like Siri, basically.
oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure it was for Siri. Um,
Wow.
because they want to do different sounding voices. And I think I had a bunch of auditions a few different times for this stuff. And I got a call back for one, which was a big deal. And so that was cool. And the best terms I've ever seen are you have to live in San Francisco for 6 months. They record you 4 days a week, up to like 4 hours a day of you just saying stuff that they then
Oh,
capture and then can morph into something. 6 months of your life just saying nonsense,
wow.
for hours a day. That's a lot of work.
Yes.
$250,000. That's it. So on one hand, that's a great rate for 6 months of work, right?
Yes.
It's also the highest I've ever seen. Since then, it's gone way down because I think the technology has made it so they don't need that much.
Oh
But
man.
I don't know. And they're using AI voices now too, so they can just get rid of us for,
Exactly.
for
It's
this
the
kind of stuff,
technology.
which
It's
is
a
fun.
Terminator.
If
Terminator
I,
said we're going
I,
to
I'm
replace
all
us for
for AI
everything.
voices because I know the one thing AI voices can't do is make you shit your pants when I call you because there has to be emotion and intention behind it. So I'm not worried about AI voices yet. I'll probably be dead by the time I need to be anyway. Um, but the pay for that is so good. But then you think about, well, wow, the usage they're getting out of that, how far that's going to reach. Like, is that a fair amount? I don't know. Because if that was a commercial and it aired forever, oh, you'd get two digits on top of that. So,
Wow.
yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know how
Hmm.
I felt about it. Of course, I'm going to do the gig. Are you freaking kidding me? I do it for 60 grand. Like, of
Right.
course, like whatever. But just to hypothetically think about it. So I told this kid that I'm like, it to make a voice changing thing or to make like a Siri thing, it's, probably $500,000, with programming and all that. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, but here's
Oh.
a voice changer on Amazon.
Oh gosh, those things. That's awesome.
I like the voice changers
Uh,
the guys on YouTube do when they're doing pranks on scammers. I like those. Those are fun.
oh
The
man, I
modulation just enough to make them sound older. Those are fun.
yes, yes.
Those are
There's a
so fun.
guy, and this is I'm not getting paid or anything to promote this person, but
Yeah.
his name is Jack Vale,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
you've never seen
Yeah.
him, he's something where he's worth checking out
Yeah.
his stuff on YouTube because he will do this, man. Like
I know
the
you're
whole
talking about.
you know
He's
what I'm talking
got that
about?
old lady voice that's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know what
Yes,
you're talking about there. Look at all get
yes,
her there. Yeah, I know. The
yep,
only my only thing with him is that as a person who doesn't have a lot of time,
yeah.
come on, give me an edited version, please. Just put some of the
They
good
can
stuff.
run a little long.
They
I
run
know.
very long.
You're right.
Oh
You're
my
right.
god, so long. So long. I try to call prank calls once in a while, but they've gotten so robotic and good that if I don't answer just the way the computer needs me to be, which is in my 70s and full of dementia, they hang up immediately.
Oh,
So as soon as I get creepy or weird, like my go-to is the guy that has children in his van that needs a dungeon setup. Like that's kind of my go-to when I'm pranking spam callers.
oh, that's
Um,
awesome,
they catch on a little too quick now. Even the automated machines are like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Click, and I can't
man.
I can't get any recorded anymore.
I'm telling you, the technology is nuts. Because I'll tell you, when I
Yeah,
first started, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but it's an honest living. Long time ago, because I'm an old man too. I'm old, and when I first started working, it was in telemarketing.
yeah,
It was cold
yeah,
call telemarketing, man,
yeah.
and I was really good at it. And I ended up getting, managing call centers for 20 something years.
Whoa,
And
would
so
you work for MCI Sprint? Who'd you do?
I did a little AT&T action.
AT&T? I did in
Uh,
college. In college, I did a summer at MCI. It paid for my
that's
synthesizer for the
oh, your
college.
synthesizer.
Yeah,
I
I
love
used the
it.
few grand that I got to buy a Core M1 so I could get through music school.
Oh, that was a beast, man. Those M1s were
That was a beast.
amazing.
I still have it. I still have it.
Oh, that was
Keys are
Korg's
sticking,
top of the
buttons are
line.
missing. Yeah,
Yeah, that is
yeah.
great. Hey, listen, man. It's our MCI. That was back in the day.
Oh, it's
That's way back in.
brutal.
That is
Hi,
brutal
I'm Mike
stuff.
with MCI's Friends and Family program, and it looks like Jen signed up and wants you to know about it. And I had this
Yes.
manager that was so into it. He was like from Office Space. His name was Andy, and Andy was like, "All you gotta do is be their friend, Mike. Just be their friend and be there for them, and they'll sign up right away." And I'm like, "Oh, Andy, Jesus Christ! I just want to go to Cinnabon."
Yeah, I'm just exactly the passion, right? The passion
Yeah,
is there.
he was into it. Oh my god, he was in it. It was just like Office Space. Oh my god, it was insane.
That was another there's so many that movie is so iconic too, and it's in that and for what it is, it's just
Okay, I'm gonna drop a name now. I'm gonna drop a
yeah.
serious name.
All right.
One of the famous people we're friends with is Todd Duffy, who was the waiter with Flair. Yeah,
No,
he's a friend of
no,
ours.
that guy
He's a friend of
cracks me
ours. He's so
up.
rad. He's so rad.
That's
He's great.
he's got his
He went on to do
flair.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yep.
Okay.
He did a Nike ad, I think with Spike Lee directed it. So he's done
Wow.
stuff. And yeah, we hung out in LA quite a bit. We had the same agent.
Oh,
We met him at an agent party. So cool. That's one of
dude.
our favorite story. He bonded with Meg's mom, my mother-in-law, like right away. They had so much fun.
Oh, dude. And
Yeah.
that's so cool. You're still in touch
Yeah.
too, right? You see, you're still in
Yeah, a
touch
little
a little
less
bit?
now that I
A little
moved to
less. Yeah.
Portland, but
Oh, for sure.
yeah, it happens.
Sure.
It was funny. He used to visit our house a lot, and he lived way out east, and then he moved a few blocks away 6 months after we left LA.
Oh my gosh.
Was like, whoop, just missed each other.
Just missed him.
Yeah, just missed him.
Aiden popped in here. He says, I know you kind of touched on Roger L. Jackson a little bit here. He said, "Can you please tell him I respect him so much for making his own voice out of it instead of copying Roger or anyone. Takes skill."
Oh, thanks. Thank you. How I feel about Roger Jackson, you're talking about somebody who's an icon, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
So I would love to meet him, get a drink with him if he drinks. Um, but I don't know. There's that saying, careful meeting your heroes. You never know. I
it's true.
suspect he's super kind and nice. We had a mutual friend in common, and she was lovely. I'm sure, 1,000% sure he's lovely. He would
Yeah.
he would also love to hear your compliments as well, I'm sure. Um, but thank you for that compliment. And thanks for the recognition that it's a skill. So,
Yes.
everybody's like, "Oh,
Totally.
you're so talented." No, I'm not talented. I practice a lot. If you
You've actually
audition,
it's a work. You crafted
it's
it,
work.
right? It's work.
It's
It's
that 10,000 hours, right? You're going to be good at
yes.
anything if you try to do it well for 10,000 hours. You're going to be a hell of a plumber.
Wow.
You're going to be a hell of a electrician. You're going to be a hell of
Hmm.
whatever teacher, whatever the hell you do. If you put in the hours and you actually enjoy it, if you
Yes.
hate it and you put in your 10,000 hours, it may not be worth as much. But if you love it, no, I've kind of paid my dues, and I recognize my privilege. Like, I had college pretty much paid for. I was supported. I had the financial means to, leave a career behind for a little bit, and
Hmm.
hopefully, jump across and make it to the next side. So there is a lot to be said for parental support, peer support, and all that. So those of you that have a lover, a spouse, or a family who rolls their eyes at your dreams of being an artist, a musician, or an actor,
Hmm.
fucking dump them. Get them out of that world that you're trying to live in. I'm not saying leave your family, but I'm
Hmm.
saying don't keep them abreast of your art. Find the people that do love what you're doing and
Yes.
go that route. Get the support you need for what it is you love to do, no matter what it is. And if somebody's poo pooing it, know that it's not about you, it's about them and their insecurity. So just do what you love, and the shit will happen eventually. Some roads are longer than others, or like actors' roads. I've seen actors book the first few months they try to do it. I've seen actors go a decade and not book anything. And I'm
Wow.
somewhere in between where I'll
Yeah.
work really well for a couple years, and then like 2009, 10. Oh my
Oh.
God, I think I made 13 grand, and then the
Wow.
next year after that, you're back up, then you're down, then you're up, then you're down, then you're up. The first part of COVID, oh, I was way down. Whoa, way down. And now I'm back up again. So
Man,
marry somebody who makes money. That's also helpful.
that never hurts.
My wife's a therapist now. So
Oh, there. Yeah, you're
uh,
good to go. Yeah.
whew, yeah.
Bobby wanted to say good night to you, Mike. Yeah, he's up past 12:30 in the East Coast, up for 21 hours straight. Craven, thanks, Mike. Thanks for answering my questions. Let me explain the show to you. Such a cool thing.
Pussy. Pussy. Yeah,
Oh,
past 12:30. Come
Bobby,
on.
you just got called out, Bobby. Oh man,
Oh, what's the matter? Mommy's got to tuck you in.
I love it. That's so good.
Just kidding. I
That's
love
so
you.
awesome.
Just kidding.
We got a question here from a good friend of mine who we share a channel. It's called the Lethal Collective. It's the four of us together, content creators,
That
and
sounds scary.
it can be real scary. Fate's in the chat. Hey, Fate, good to see you, buddy. And he says, "Is there a voice role or acting role that would be your dream role?" Great question.
It would be an animated series that isn't out yet. So
Okay.
I would love, 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 love to be a character on an animated series that goes more than 4 seasons.
Hmm.
I love ongoing work. I love it. And I love being a character that has a journey. And so there isn't something that exists that I want to be a part of right now. Um, but that's my love and my goal. And games are the same way. Like, I voiced this character called Vox in Final Fantasy Mobius for a long time. I mean, he even died twice, and I still came back. So
Wow.
Love that. I love coming back and being like, all right, where did we leave off? That's my favorite. That said, on camera, anything by A24 Films, anything
Oh,
by Bad
yes.
Robot, when there's a good production company that just puts out great work, anything by Vince Gilligan, anything like that. Oh my God, it could pay me $2. I'll show up. Like, it's awesome. I got an audition for The Boys as part of the Loop group. It was just an audition. Didn't get it,
Wow.
but
Oh,
I was just
man.
like, oh my God, I love that show. Oh my God, I would kill
Yes.
just to, and it was just some stupid thing like coming up next on NBC Sports or something. That's all it was. But I would, I'm a fan of a lot of media properties out there. And of course, being on them would be amazing.
That's so awesome, man. Wow. That's so A24. So do you have a favorite so that of A24 that's come out?
Honestly, I loved everything. Every time I see their name on a project that I didn't know, I'm just like, oh, no wonder it's so good. Um, whatever it was. And I did a small little role on the OA, which is not A24. Who is that? Um, it's one of Brad Pitt's production companies. I
Oh
forget their
gosh.
name. I
Yeah.
had no idea. I just auditioned. I got it. I loved it. So professional, so easy, so smooth, in and out. Loved it, and it turned out great. Like, that's the kind of stuff you want, is the good stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
you typically don't get cut out of the scene, typically, because they
Mm-hmm.
know what they're doing. They're not going to waste your time, um, and that sort of thing. So
Wow.
yeah, it's good. Where I don't, I'm more of a pessimist and a negative guy. Where I don't belong is sitcoms. I don't belong in audiobooks. I don't belong
Okay.
in happy, kind of go lucky, safe stuff. That's just not where I fit in. I got a
Mm-hmm.
little bite to me, and so and I train my loop group to be ultra real, ultra real. Don't
Wow.
give me the cliches when we start a scene. Don't give me the hey, how's it going? I already have
Mm-hmm.
something planned. Go deep. What is it? What's really happening? So I
Wow.
just like being real. I like crap that's real.
Yes. Well, and you've demonstrated that tonight, just in your conversation, and which is great because it's
It's
the
a
it
little
is.
heightened because I'm excited.
Oh, not more than I am. I'm excited more than you are even, and it's just you're being honest and open, man,
Hey,
and I appreciate it. So, and we talked about earlier. I still say
have you
thank you
not had
because
this experience? Shouldn't all your interviewees be
I
like
mean,
this? Come on.
I that's my hope. It's my hope for everyone,
Yeah, you'll
and
get it.
it is,
You're friendly and
Um,
approachable. You'll get it.
oh,
You got nothing
thank
to
you.
worry about. You got
Thank
nothing to
you.
worry about.
You're actually my second interview.
Oh,
So I'm just cutting my teeth on interviewing, and so
I
it's just
was
kind of
just about to make a joke about thanks for cutting your teeth on me. God.
oh,
All right.
it's
All
because
right.
I'm aiming high, man. I'm coming in with people that I really appreciate, and
Well, now you can hit up Todd Duffy from Office Space and tell him I told you to interview him. Although
solid.
he, he only has one horror story, and that was when he was on Barney the Dinosaur Show.
Oh, do tell. Can you
Oh no,
share
I'm
that?
not going to tell it. Oh
Oh,
hell no,
dang it.
that is his
Okay,
story to tell. You hit
okay.
him up. It is amazing, and it involves fire. It is amazing, amazing story.
Oh,
You
that's
got to
awesome.
hear him tell it. It
I
is
have to.
fabulous. It is fabulous.
I mean, just when you had me at Barney, I mean, you
Oh
had me at
yeah, when
Barney,
he was in
man. I'm,
Texas, he was on that show. He was Scooter. He was Scooter on Barney. So yeah, you got it. You
gosh,
got to get him on that.
dude, this is. Oh man, I saw this comment earlier, and I think it's cool. He's great one saying, I think you too, talking about you and Roger,
Hmm?
would honestly break the internet if radio silence brought you in for even a line or two with Roger. Would literally be thousands of videos on theories and speculation. Yeah.
Listen. We're not told anything. Like, I guarantee he came in after picture lock just like I did, and
Yep.
here's the lines, and you go, and he does his job, and I guarantee it's the same thing. Again, I would love to be at the same con, the same panel with him,
Yeah.
and the audience could screw with us as much as possible. But I'll be honest, the only way that's going to happen is if the fans demand it. The fans have tremendous power. You hear these stories about them
Mm,
sending in cans of beans to get a show renewed, things like that.
wow.
You would be surprised. When I worked at an ad agency, we got two complaints over one radio ad I did, and they shut it down. Two. 2 complaints
Oh, come on,
because they found
man.
the patient talking like this thing was offensive, and they took down the ad. So you have no idea
Wow.
if even 2 of you called the Comic-Con or the con nearest you that's gonna happen and say, "I'd really like to see so and so. Could you ask them?" Oh, they'll ask us, and negotiations will happen. So whoever wrote
Wow.
that question, where's your nearest Comic-Con, Horror
Okay.
Con, or Game Con? Go to their website, hit the
Hmm.
contact us, find out who runs it, and say, you need to get Mike Vaughn and Roger Jackson, and they'll do a standoff. Don't even tell me you said it or set it up. Just lie.
Yeah.
And say Mike said he'd do it. Roger said he'd do it. Put it together. They offer enough money, it'll happen, and it's not even that
Oh,
much money. It's not even
absolutely.
that much money.
I can't imagine how epic that would be. Seriously, to have you both on the stage, and it
Listen,
would be
the question
iconic.
is how many fans like you are there? That's the question, because you guys are passionate, and I do get hit up from fans
Hmm.
occasionally, but I wouldn't say I'm like at the point where I have to ignore
Hmm.
people hitting me up on Instagram and stuff. It's not that volume at all, right?
Hmm. Right.
So if there's not that many of you, if there's 20 of you, Comic Cons are gonna be like, oh, we sell 20 more tickets and pay you how much? No. But I have no idea how many Scream TV fans are. When
Hmm.
Spider Man Web of Shadows first came out, I had 0 fans. Everybody hated my voice. I was rated as the second worst voice of Spider Man, one notch
Oh.
above Tobey Maguire in Spider Man 3, the game. And I was just like, okay, all right, this is. I was like, fuck you, fanboys. And then and then guess what's happened? Now I get all these heartfelt messages on Instagram that are like, that game saved my childhood. I was
Wow.
struggling. My stepdad gave me this game, and da, da, da. I've got a shit ton of nostalgia going on for Spider-Man Web of Shadows. All of a sudden, now y'all are my greatest fans. Well, of course, these kids were too young to reach
Hmm.
out when they were playing the game, but now
True.
that they're older, it's like, oh, those are where the fans were. The critics hated me. Everybody else was too little to reach out.
That's hilarious.
Luckily, Scream fans are already of age, so it happened a little
Exactly.
quicker. It happened a
That's
little quicker. The other type of fan I get is the Mario Brothers fans, and that's just like, you guys are weird. So sorry, you are. You guys are weird. I love you, but you're weird.
Look, I played Super Mario Brothers
I'm
3
sorry.
back in the day when I like in the 80s,
I got
and
I got
then
booked on New Super Mario Brothers, and I did one session.
okay, one
Keep that in
one
mind.
session.
Look at my IMDb credits and know that I got paid for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Ow.
ouch. Yeah, I can only
Hurt.
imagine. I can only imagine. Aiden,
Ah.
I love it. Aiden, you're taking it with you're taking it
in
with
in all
dignity.
honesty, it was before I was union. It's my fault.
Oh shoot,
Yeah.
that's one thing to be said for the union, right? I guess
Yeah.
which I
Oh,
mean,
I
I'm not.
know.
I mean, I'm not in it, but I'm just saying
I
that's
would have. I would have. I would have. I
yeah.
would have. Oh well.
Aiden says you see I've always been a huge fan of Mike, but knowing how great a person he is, I like him even more.
Kind of like Hillary Clinton, right? We all hated her, and then she did that interview on Howard Stern, and then everybody loved her.
It's like, oh yeah,
And
what
nice.
happened?
I have a shirt. A colleague of mine, now a friend of mine, she gave me a shirt. I helped her get an agent and stuff because she's very talented.
Hmm.
She gave me a shirt after that said, "I'm the nicest asshole you know."
Oh, I love it, dude.
True.
That's all.
So true. It's so true. It's so true. I am such an asshole, but I think I'm pretty generous. I think I like to help people out. I've kind of got a
Yeah.
social justice person deep down within me, and one of my mentors said, I said, look, I need help with my branding. Who am I? And she goes, I don't want to tell you. And I go, come on, spill it. What am I? Who am I? And she goes, you're an iconoclast. And I go, oh, thank you. And she goes, no, idiot. That's not what it means. And I'm like, oh, hang on. Iconoclast is somebody who tears down gods, tears down systems, tears shit down. And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, she's right.
can't even
and it
deny it,
fits,
huh?
and it fits the Scream character. You're tearing down. You are ripping
Yes.
apart. You are
Yes.
destructing things. But really, I kind of think of myself more as a disappointed optimist. So I got a lot of
Aw.
cynicism and just like, I mean, you
Yeah.
see the stupid stuff going on,
True.
especially right now. It's so
So true.
stupid. Oh,
Yeah.
it drives me insane. I spent a lot of nights
Yep.
just out there with the cigar thinking about like, how come
Hmm.
we haven't solved this healthcare problem yet? How come
Yeah.
we haven't solved this whole like borders thing and energy? Like,
Hmm.
seems
Right.
like these things are pretty solvable. And then you're like, oh yeah, people like money and power. Great.
Yeah, it's those two little
Two
things. It's
little
just
things.
money and power. It's
And
all.
we put some pretty stupid people in charge. We
Yeah.
really do. Because smart people wouldn't take that job if you paid them. So,
Yeah, it's kind of like and we won't get into politics too much, but I'll just say there is a bit of selling your soul if you're going to do that.
oh, oh,
You're
I'll
just
get
going to have to
into
sell your soul.
politics because I'm studying this stuff for something I'm working on. Uh, Politicians spend 60% of their time raising funds, and it's not even for themselves, it's for the
Right.
party. Watch
Yep.
the documentary The Circus when they follow
Yep.
Matt Gaetz. You will see a
Mm,
representative from like the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, I think. His base his constituents love him, and yet they still force him to go fundraise when he doesn't need it. And so he wastes time sitting in a cubicle
mm-hmm.
doing the cold calls like we did.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
how's that
right.
for a callback?
I remember those days.
So yeah, when we force people to do money, raise money, and deal with lobbyists, this is why I have a real serious problem with lobbyists. This is where I think things could be solved. And
Yeah.
so yeah, if you meet me at Comic-Con, this is the sort of things I will bore you with when we hang out later because you hooked me up with the gig.
That's right. The after party, drinking cigar, the whole 9 yards. You get
Whatever,
the full
whatever,
scoop.
whatever you want to do, we'll do it. We'll do it.
This is funny. Aiden says Brandon James versus Stu Mocker. Yo,
Who's
Stu
Stu
Mocker from.
Mocker?
Remember Stu? He was the one of the killers in Scream One, like way back in '96.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
he's one of my favorite characters of the whole first film. And just to give you a little visual, you'll remember when you see him. I think it's this guy right here. Is this guy? It was this guy here.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah,
this
yeah,
one?
yeah. He worked in a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, I remember
Yeah, he
him.
went on to do
Yep,
Shaggy, the
yep,
Scooby Doo movies, and he's done.
yep.
Oh, he did Starship Troopers,
That's
13
right.
Ghosts,
Oh, you guys are good.
a whole bunch of stuff. But
You guys are good.
yeah, it's kind of horror's kind of it's kind of our thing here on the Craven Something Scary. It's what we do, man.
Love
This
it.
is our jam. But
And don't you do watch
I'm
parties or
sorry,
something like
Matthew
that?
Lillard. Sorry, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh,
Matthew
good
Lillard
name.
is
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
He's
said Stu.
famous.
That was the
He's
character's name.
famous.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Mike. What were you gonna say?
Don't you
That
do like some watch parties or something like that? When you
Yeah.
hit me
So
up, I like stalked your channel. I'm like, what is this?
we actually last weekend we had
Hmm.
Nancy Ann Ritter from Scream '96, and she came on, and we watched the entire movie with her.
Drunk? Did you do it
Uh,
drunk?
no, I did not, but it was a party. It was Nancy made it a party.
Awesome.
She's a total amazing person. She needs to be in stand up comedy. She's just kind of very
Oh my gosh.
and
Yeah. Okay.
she's
Yeah.
got that kind of
Yeah.
personality. It's just keep and and you I mean you as well. They're very just
I can't do stand up. I don't have those
well
skills. Oh my
yeah
gosh.
that is a
Hats off.
unique and yeah that's a tough one.
Yeah. I
But
love stuff.
no and yeah and so man I got to tell you I want to ask you a question. It kind of leads me to a question for you,
Mhm. All right.
and not going to put you on hopefully on the spot here with everybody, but I have to ask if I was to host a Scream TV series, not the whole
Mm.
not every episode. Let's say maybe one episode, maybe the pilot or an episode of your choice. Would you
Mm.
consider coming back and us all like you and I watching it here on the channel with everyone in the live chat, and you can comment as we're watching it. We can hear you as Brandon James. What would you think?
I would think yes, but don't get too excited. I got some stipulations. I got some ideas.
All right.
So let me paint a picture for you,
Okay.
and maybe we can improve upon this painting, as it were. So when I was in LA, my favorite thing to do of all time was Horrible Movie Night, HMN, and it was run by Jan and Susan or John and Susan. Is it Moffat? Moffat? Oh my God, I'm spacing his last name. He's gonna kill me. John and Susan, husband and wife, ran Horrible Movie Night. It used to be in Theater Row. Then they moved it to Meltdown Comics on Sunset. And what they would do is they would play a horrible movie, and like Rocky Horror Picture Show, everybody in the audience would roast it. They would stop halfway
Oh,
through the film to tally up the funniest lines, and an improv troupe or a comic would get up and do little riffs. Then they'd finish the movie, and then another comic or improv troupe would come up and do a little riff, and then they would tally up the votes and get prizes. Now, they had Sharknado 3, and they had
oh
part of the
gosh.
cast and the director there. Like, they had all kinds of guests. They had one of the writers from
Wow.
Tosh as the stand-up. Like, it was my favorite thing to do in LA. And amongst all but maybe two of my friends, we were the only ones who liked it. None of my friends liked it. I
Really?
loved it. Some nights were better than others.
Okay.
But for the most part, I would usually place and get a prize, because I love being a dick and roasting stuff and doing that. So,
Oh,
that
wow.
said,
Okay.
maybe we should collect a few more actors or people who worked on the show,
Okay.
and maybe if I end up in LA on a gig, we could do it together, or we could do it over your little setup here or whatever,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
could roast our work
Dude.
with an episode. So it's not just me, so that I don't have to carry the heavy burden of trying to be
Well.
entertaining for the whole thing. So maybe you need to reach out, show people this awful
Okay.
interview,
Oh
and
no, no.
whoever the dad, Emma's dad, I met him. He
Yes.
should say yes.
Okay. All right.
Anybody else? I would particularly like the woman that her last name, her first name was Vaughn in the series.
Okay. Okay.
You know
I'm
what I'm
making my
talking about?
notes. I Let me see here. I think I got it pulled up.
She
Let me get it here.
she was the temporary girlfriend, I think, in season 2,
Season two.
who got
Okay.
drowned almost got drowned in the lake in the coffin, I think.
Oh! I know the character you're talking
Anyway,
about.
somebody out there theorized that she was the killer because the voiceover killer's name was Mike Vaughn, and her character name was Vaughn.
Was
So
Vaughn.
yeah, and so
Okay.
they thought, oh, that must be the thing. It's like, no, that's called a coincidence, but it's funny. So she would be fun, just because of that. And maybe Roger Jackson, see if he's down to do it.
Oh
Whatever, like,
man,
we could
that
do
would
it.
be
So I mean,
amazing.
you're a good reacher outer. You're kind. You can figure it out. But if you can get more
Oh
than one
here.
person, we
Hey,
could set it up. We should
that
do it.
would be so. You're talking
Wouldn't that
about
be fun?
Zoe Vaughn,
Zoe Vaughn. That's the one. Yes, 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 yes. Zoe
Kiani,
Vaughn.
Kiana Liddy is her
Yep.
last name.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, 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 yep. So it was Zoe Vaughn, and somebody theorized she must be the killer because Mike Vaughn's the voice of the killer. Like, I love how the fans know more about the show than the people who actually create it.
Oh,
I can't tell you how many times
that's
I got asked.
awesome.
Like, I get asked over and over and over. So who's going to be the killer in season 3? Who's going to do this and who's going to? Dude, I didn't know who the killer was in season 1 and 2, and I was reading the scripts, and I still didn't know. Like, they don't know. You don't.
It's you don't. It's
You
interesting.
only see your scenes that you work on, and that is it. You miss everything else. So I know about as much as the fans do, and I'm not even that good of a fan, so I know even less.
that's, but it's interesting. Hey, Tom Everett Scott, Mike, is that what
Yes.
you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's Tom Everett Scott.
Yeah.
That's him,
I
his
think he's a
dad.
big name. I think he's a big name. He probably won't do it. But
Ah,
whatever. I mean, even just get some comedic friends of yours too, or whoever.
sure,
Or
sure. Well, okay.
whoever.
I'll tell you what. Here's my plan. What if
All right.
that?
All right.
See if
What's
this
your
sounds better.
All right.
If because not everyone is going to be as generous as if they're to come on the channel as you are,
Well, if
but
they're not, then they're buttholes.
well,
That's all I
thank
gotta
you,
say.
thank you. You said it right. You said
I
it, man.
said it. You're a butthole if you don't
That's
share
right.
yourself.
So
But it's only
here's
going to be a half hour. The show's only
well,
like 40 minutes, right?
yeah, it's like a 40-minute show. I mean, that's it.
40
So
minutes.
here's what I did with Nancy's watch party. I brought on 4 other people to join me here as a guest.
All
And
right.
so it would be you, me, and there'd be 4 other people. And we're all watching it here, talking, interacting with one another.
But are they funny or are they annoying?
I mean, I know some annoying people and some funny people. No, I'm kidding.
Sometimes it's the same person.
Somebody's the same person. Exactly. But would you be willing to do it if I got some people that are going to be,
Sure.
they're going to deliver. They're
Sure.
going to
But
deliver.
let's try to get more Scream
Let's
TV
try it.
people, because
Yeah.
that would be way more entertaining.
It would be
That'd be
amazing.
way more
Yeah.
entertaining.
No, man. Listen, all of it would be amazing if you're here. That's going to make it
Oh, you're
great.
sweet. You're sweet.
So it's
See
well.
why I wanted to do this later at night? This is why, because I have
This
time.
this is so
I'm
cool,
not
man.
getting called away.
This is amazing. I'm so glad. Yeah, that was,
That's a secret.
and it worked out perfect because this is the best time for me. It's midnight now for me, and
See?
this
Yeah.
is this is my prime time. I mean, this is my prime time for me.
Oh,
So
well, there you go.
I'm
See?
always
See, I wasn't wrong calling that kid what I called him. Just
nope,
saying.
nope.
Come
This
on.
is so cool.
Any
Um,
questions from the fans, the audience?
yeah, let's take a look here,
Let's take
guys.
all the
Let's see.
questions.
We have one here.
Wrap this sucker up.
We'll start wrapping up. I shot him 6 times, $6 to
Love that
super
name.
chat. I love that name. I know. Thank you so much for the super chat again. I just booked my tickets to Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati, the 25th to 27th. The Scream 96 cast will be there. I wish Mike was there so I could meet him as well. Hashtag everything Scream.
Dude, I
I'll
would
be
love to.
sure.
I have an agent. I have an agent in Cincinnati. Call them up and tell them you want to see me and tell them to reach out. I will do that. I will totally do that. Wait, the 25th and 27th of this month?
I think so. Yep.
No, I'm booked out on that. But if it's not this month, I can do it.
Dang, so close.
Too soon.
Too soon, man. Well,
Yeah, I'll
I
be
think we're.
skiing. I'll be skiing that week.
Ooh, awesome. Where do
I
you go
think
ski at? There, you
I'm going to
there?
Mount Bachelor. No, I'm going to Mount Bachelor. Let me double check. 25th, 27th. Well, wait a minute. I'll know if this is a weekend or not. Oh, nope. 25th is a problem. I could potentially fly out on the 26th and the 27th, but I could not do the 25th. So still reach out to them and see if
Yeah.
they're interested because I could pull that off, but I'll be sunburnt and tired. But I could
Wow.
do it. I could do it.
It, now, Mike, is there any particular contact and website we can send everyone to request that, or
I don't know. I don't know what con he's talking about, and I don't know how
okay,
they operate. So it's up to you guys to navigate who
okay,
runs it. And I'm sure there's a fan thing or
hmm
something like, what do you want to see or something? I don't know. This is this is
yeah,
this is why I'm making you guys do it because I'm lazy and I
sure.
don't want to do it.
Oh, this is
But
great. We
but
can
I'm
do that.
very I'm very easy to reach. I mean, Google has all my info out there, so you guys can probably even steal my social security at this point. I give
well,
up.
listen, I shot him 6 times. Hey, man, it sounds like it's worth a shot to reach Horrorhound, reach the
Yeah.
promoter
I
of the
could I
event.
could fly out early on the 26th and leave late on the 27th, but the 25th is going to be tough. So
Okay.
I don't know how they operate. But do the next one for sure. Or maybe there's you had Horror Hound weekend. Maybe there's a Comic Con or a Game Con, and I would do that for you too. And then I'll make a headshot that's more horror based anyway. So it'll be all my characters.
Love it. In fact, I found an image here. I was going to show before
Yeah.
we say goodnight. It was where does it go? Where did I put it? Here. This shot here I thought was pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's an old one. Yeah, that's an old one. I put that up a long time ago and said anybody who names all the characters gets $250. And one friend
Wow.
got close, but he got one wrong. So
Ooh.
yeah, a lot of those are kind of like sub characters too that are hard to sort of place. But and Scream's not on there. So I have a
It's true.
current one that I use that has less characters, but they're better. I got the Scream mask and
Um,
Spider-Man more prominently.
I
Yeah.
have to ask about this image. I have to ask
Yeah.
what was behind this one. Was this just for fun, or was this a?
So
Uh,
this guy, Brad, God, see, I told you I'm so shitty with names, guys. I'm so sorry. This was a while ago. This guy, Brad Young, I think, Brad Everett Young. Yes, I got it right. Brad Everett Young. He's a
nice.
wonderful photographer in LA. He was doing this, it was kind of like a charitable shoot thing. It was like for a cause. And he got me and
Uh,
other people from Scream TV to come over to his
okay.
place and just shoot. And he had these just big lights on it. And we just had fun. And then he interviewed me. And that was that. And he was just a fan of the show and he's a fan of other shows. And so he would get like I think he got Bex to do it.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, because we're on a first name basis, whatever.
Of course.
We've never talked. But he shot a bunch of us and all that, and it was for like some social sort of justice, like get music in schools or something kind of cause. I forget what it was. But it was really sweet. And he just shot those for me and gave me a copy of them. And of course I use them, but I credit him. I try to. And I have a new shot that a friend of mine took, and I put in the new Scream mask, because doing the old Scream masks, we didn't have access to the new Scream mask at that time, at that shoot, because the series had just come out, and of course nobody has made the mask yet. But now I have my own mask from the TV series, which I like a little more, to be honest with you.
Oh, so you have a Brandon
I
James mask.
have one. I have one. It was made by Tony.
Oh
God
man.
damn it, me with the fucking names. It's on my Instagram, the underscore Mike underscore Vaughn. Um, Tony something. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Tony. He made the mask for me, and it's wonderful, and it's beefy and dirty and
Oh,
I actually used it on a Halloween around the neighborhood, and nobody knew that it was the real voice behind the mask.
dude, that's epic. That is
I was
so
answering the door. I
cool.
was like, "Oh, hello. Aren't you a cute little princess?" And everybody's like, "This guy's weird." Nobody had any idea. Nobody had a clue it was the real thing. That was so fun. Tony Buck FX Studios. Thank you, Sam. Oh, Sam's a big fan. I love Sam. Sammy. Sammy,
Sam,
my man. Yep. Sam the man.
Sam the man.
Sam the
That's
man. He
awesome.
was one of my first interviewers, actually, back in the day. He's an OG. He's
Wow.
that gangster. He wants to know about all my prank phone calls, and I explained that earlier, Sammy. I can't get them to stay on the line. I can't get them to pick up anymore. I've tried. I've tried. Now I just record my health insurance calls to make sure they don't screw up anymore. Yeah,
Oh,
recognizes my characters.
oh,
Yeah.
I know. We won't go there again. I know. Also, real quick, I shot said. Oh, here we go. There it is.
September,
Um,
done.
September in the same place, Sharonsville, Ohio.
Done.
There you go.
I'll go to that. All right. So September in Sharonsville, Ohio. All right. Got it. It is this month. Yeah, I probably can't do the one this month, but you can try. You can ask them. You can ask them. Flights don't take that long. So we'll see.
Yeah,
All right.
fantastic. That would be amazing if
Get
that
to it.
works out.
And shot them 6 times. If I do it, or I do the one in September, you got to come up and say, "Hey, I'm shot him 6 times." So I know.
That's right, man.
All
Mike sound like Mike's gonna
right.
hook you up
We'll
for
hook you
doing that.
up.
So
We'll
you
hook you up.
gotta do
Unless you're
that.
like 12, and then I'm going to be like, shit, I guess we're going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Exactly. Soda only soda for
Soda?
you.
No, I'm having a beer. They sell beer there. I'm having a beer. You have soda.
There you go. There
I'll
you
slip
go.
you a beer. I'll slip you a beer. You're cool. I mean, you did shot the guy 6 times, so.
What is it? He does. It's based on Dr. Loomis from Halloween. I shot him 6 times. We
Oh, is
shot
that
Michael
what it is?
Myers
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Halloween '78, whatever it was. Yeah,
Okay.
love that. Well, Mike, man, let me just tell you, honestly, this has been an amazing 2 hours.
Fun.
It's been
It was
absolutely
fun.
fun.
No other questions? I don't want to leave anybody hanging.
Yeah, let's see here if we
You
got
do it quick.
anything. Let me make
You do
sure.
shotgun blast.
I was sure in the Dr. Loomis voice for good measure. um, last chance, guys. If you have one more question, this is the
There's no more
time.
questions. We can wrap up. They should have already typed them in by now. Come on now.
I mean, you
They're all
know,
asleep. They're all
always
asleep.
there's a lot of folks who have already left because it's so late Eastern. It's like
Yep.
1:15.
Yep.
But you know what? Lightweights, man. That's their. But this goes into replay, so we're good. But
Yeah.
no, I think that's it for the chat. I think we
Awesome.
covered most everything here,
That's fun.
and this was a lot of fun. This
A
was so
lot of
much
fun.
fun,
This
Mike.
was
I
fun.
appreciate you.
This is fun. My
Um,
ego loves it. My ego loves it and loves you.
Hey man,
We all do.
anytime, man. You're welcome to come back here anytime.
Thanks.
I would love to have you.
I'll do that serious thing with you, but let's make it extra cool.
I like it. It's good. I will work on that. It's my mission now to see what I can do to get some folks involved, and I'll
See if
take you
Todd
up on
Duffy will
that.
do it.
Seriously, yeah. Oh yeah. Let me make a note of that right now because my memory's terrible. Um, and I'll see if I can find his contact info.
Oh, he's all over Instagram. Are you kidding? Todd
Okay,
Duffy
so
ruins this or something, I think is his Insta. And
so I can
everybody follow me on Insta because that'll get me into those Comic Cons even faster.
Well, yeah. I was about
I've
to
only got
ask.
like 900 followers. I'm pathetic.
Oh,
But
come on, guys.
It is just pictures of my dumb kids, and I gotta fix that. So
Yeah, well, listen, I wanted. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you. I have your website here. It's MikeVaughn.com, so everyone should go check it out.
that's
It's a
not really
link
for
to it.
fans. That's really just for people to be like, okay, we're booking this guy. What does he do? That's more for that. I need to change that probably. Instagram, I'm a lot more available. I hate Facebook.
Yeah,
So I don't even try to deal with that. That's just up there so I can get marketplace stuff done or whatever.
sure.
But Instagram is kind of where it's at, and I need to
Okay.
post more crap about my job there than I do. I'm just I'm busy and I don't do it, and I'm bad about that. So sorry. Mm.
Oh, hey, listen,
And
man.
I don't like Instagrams where it's all like selfie. Here's what I'm doing. Hey, look at me. Oh, look a microphone. It's just not who I am. But at the same
Yeah,
time, I know that I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for fans. So I kind of gotta let it go, as it were.
yeah. I mean, it comes a point where you almost have to give in,
A little
to
bit,
some degree, right?
little
Not
bit,
a
yeah, a
little
little
bit.
bit. I got to figure it out.
Hey, we got a last minute question here, Mike. Favorite
Oh,
beer and favorite drink?
I love a Pilsner from the Bavarian region of any brand. I've been to Oktoberfest a couple of times, and I love
Ah,
me a good Pilsner. So no specific brand because I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and we got a lot of different really great ones. And my favorite drink at the moment would be Casa Amigos, the Reposado tequila at the moment. So I like me a good vanilla bomb in a tequila, and I just sip it and have a cigar. Now your the better question would have been what type of cigar do you like? I like a big gauge mild. So if you're gonna bring me a gift, big
hmm.
gauge mild cigar. All right. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, hey, this is information we need to know. Big mild gauge. I love it. This is great.
Big gauge,
Um,
mild flavor. I'm
big
not in it
gauge.
for the buzz. I'm not in for the buzz. I don't want to get
Yep.
sick. Just give me the
Yes.
mild and give me the big gauge. Which people think big cigar, it's got to be heavy. Nope, that's not how it works. Just saying.
Interesting.
Just say. And then that way I write it off my taxes because they go, "Hey, why did you write off these cigars?" And I go, "You get into this voice. You gotta have that and coffee. You gotta have it. It's the only way to do
It's
it."
a package deal to get the voice, right? It's got to be all
No,
there.
nobody's gonna ever audit me. Knock on wood, because I will scare the crap out of them.
That's right. If they all they gotta do is call you, man. If they call you, it's a done deal. We're good. Check it. Check it. We're done
So
now.
funny.
This is great, man.
Right
Well,
on.
listen to everybody in the and I shot is asking and
We
actually
already
Mike
have that.
Mike covered this earlier in the live
You're
stream.
gonna
Yeah,
have
we
to
already.
rewatch it, sucker.
Yep, you're going to have to go into replay mode when this is done, but it is answered. Mike does answer
It
that
is
question.
answered, and I answered
Um,
good.
you did it real good. You gave
I
us
did
two.
real good.
You gave us two movies,
Yeah, but
which is
one
a
was good.
bonus round.
One was good.
That was awesome. All right, guys. Listen, for everyone in the chat, thank you all. Thank you all for staying and hanging out for this amazing event tonight. Thank you for your super chats, your support. As always, I appreciate it. And Mike, thank you, man, for again your time and for being such an amazing guest. You've made it. This is
Anytime.
such a great time tonight, and
Anytime. Love chatting.
I I have my duties, I guess you'll say, to do,
Yep.
and get these. I will do my best to get some other folks lined up from the show, and also, of course, Todd Duffy. I'm gonna, and I can name drop you now, right? You give
Oh
me
yeah.
permission to
Oh
name
yeah.
drop you.
Oh yeah. He might
Okay.
hang up on you, but you should definitely do it.
All right. I wanted to make sure. I'm gonna say, hey, man, I was talking to Mike Vaughn. He said to contact you. I'm going for it, man.
Oh my
So
god.
that would be I mean, if I
I'll
had
think
just the
about who
two
else. I'll
of
think
you.
about who else I know that would be fun to have. That would be fun to
Yeah.
have.
Listen, honestly, if you think of anyone else, let me know. I'll go. I'll do the legwork. I'll just if you can.
Well, the close friend of mine that gave me the shirt is Sabra May, and she did a voice on Cyberpunk. And so, yeah,
Ah,
and she's
okay.
a stand-up comedian. She's even more snarky and meaner than me. So she might be
Ah,
down to play
and
too.
you
And
said
then our kids can play together, and we can do our thing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
You said Sauber May. Is that right? I want to
Sabra
make
May,
sure.
Sabramay. Yep, yep. She's here. She's over here at my studio all the time doing work.
Oh, all
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So,
We both moved back to Portland from LA because we got kids. So that's what
all
happens.
well, listen. I can then when I reach out to her. I know you
Of
see her,
course.
so I
Well, I'll
so
just
I've
tell her.
got
You don't have to reach out to her. I'll just tell her to do it if you want to.
okay. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love. Yeah. So you and her, and if we could get maybe Todd.
Whoever.
You
Or
know.
get people from Scream. That would be so much fun. I would kill. I
Yes.
would kill for Jake, the dad. Bex would be amazing. But
Yes.
yeah, they're probably not gonna do it. But whoever,
Yeah,
whoever's around,
probably not. But
probably
hey,
not. But hey, might as well try.
my motto is I'm swinging big because you never know unless you
You
take
got
a
nothing to
shot.
lose. What are they gonna say?
Nothing.
No.
All they're gonna say is no, or they ignore you.
And here's a little secret for everybody. Actors like to pretend that they're too busy and too high up to deal with you, but trust me, they're all flattered when they get compliments. I've seen it all at restaurants. I've seen it all happen, Everybody likes to be flattered no matter how high up they are. They just don't like to be scared by my wife. That's all. They just don't want to be scared, but they love flattery.
That's awesome. That's so cool. What? How fun! That's just. I mean, I would love to spend a whole evening just hanging out, man.
Well,
I
then
think it
get
would
out
be
here, get out here, get out
be
here. We'll
such a
just set up a 360 camera by the fire table and we'll just go for it.
that would be amazing. I would love it. Well, guys, listen, this is so great. And again, this is just such a fun time. And check out Mike's site. I know it's in his Instagram. Hit him up on guys. Get over there and follow him on Instagram. Seriously,
And
Let
YouTube.
and YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram. Those are the two big ones.
Yes, let's do it, and let's start some kind of a petition to get him into the Scream 6
Oh.
world,
Oh
or
my God. If you guys did that, it'd
or
be hilarious. Give it to Roger Jack. If it's a movie, it's Roger. If it's a
okay,
movie, it's
fair enough,
Rogers.
fair enough.
If it's TV, there's some room for debate.
That is, and they're rumoring like
It
crazy.
depends what mask they're using. I think it depends on what mask they're using.
That's a
If
good
they're
point too.
If they're using the TV mask, moi. If they're using the classic
Yes,
mask, Roger. I
Roger.
think that's fair.
That's fair. You're
That's fair.
right. So
That's
we
fair.
need to petition hard to get because we've been wanting closure on those first two seasons because it
You,
ended open
you,
and
like I told another interviewer, you are never going to get it because
yeah,
the main actors have all
they moved
moved the
on.
F on.
Yeah,
Sorry, they got gigs now.
sad day. I know. So I guess we can just pretend whoever we want the killer to be in our own minds. You know, whoever it was Brandon
It was
James or
actually me. It was really Mike Vaughn.
it was Mike
I
Vaughn.
came into that prison and I was like, I'm sick of being a guard. And I just stabbed him.
I love it. Let's petition for him to come back. Yes. And Samir says your voice is unparalleled. I
Oh,
absolutely
thank you.
agree.
Thank you.
And now, I would have one favor to ask of you, Mike,
Okay, what's
and you
this?
can say
Take off my
no.
clothes again? All right, fine.
Well, no, I was going to do that after we got off the live stream,
Oh,
but
okay.
just for us.
Sorry.
No, no, but I'm on my channel.
Hmm?
My subscribers know me as the conductor of the stew train, Stu Mocker. I showed you the picture
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I want him to come back. I believe he's going to come back. I know what a shot. Yes, such a great shot. Look at
That
that.
is a great shot.
So, what I was going to ask you is if you wouldn't mind, so I can just take a little snippet of this, and I was going to see, would you mind saying in your killer Brandon James voice that who you are and that you are on the stew train? Would you be
Okay.
willing to do that?
Yeah, so, hey, I'm Mike Vaughn, and you're on the stew train?
Yes,
Okay.
that would be amazing.
Hello, listener. This is Mike Vaughn, and you're on the stew train. Enjoy it.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic, man! Thank you.
And I only had to do one take. I was going to give you
One.
3 more, but all right. No, we'll
This
just
is
do one.
amazing. Oh, one take. Oh, that was
One take
beautiful.
wonder. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was. Thank you so much for doing that. That's so cool.
Anytime.
And Mike, again, thank you, sir. This has been wonderful. It's been great. Carrie said just chills. I know.
Really?
Seriously, yes. Oh yeah.
It doesn't
Believe
work
me.
on my kids. I'm like, get the fuck to sleep. And they're like, whatever. I have no effect on my kids. Zero.
It's different when it's dad, isn't it?
Zero.
It's just
So different. They're like,
Yes.
you're being dumb.
that's
He
awesome.
has no interest in what I do. Zero. Literally zero. And my 5-year-old's better at voiceovers than I am.
Oh no. Hey, you know what? You're bringing up the next generation.
No, I don't want him to be an actor. He's not allowed. He's not allowed to hate money.
That's great, man. Musicians and actors, right? It's like the worst possible thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Jordan says that voice, man. Oh, I know. So
Thanks,
good.
Jordan.
All right. Well,
All
this has
right.
been great. We'll call it a night, but thank you
told
for
you I'd go
staying for
long.
so long.
No.
I love it. This is amazing,
Fine.
man.
When it's fun, it's fun. What are you gonna do?
That's right. I'm with you 100%, and
All
we
right.
could go forever, but I know eventually you're going to have to get to bed, so I don't want to I don't want to keep you up too much later.
True.
Um, but this has been great, guys. Thanks again. We appreciate you. And one last time, this is Mike Vaughn, and this is, of course, Steven with Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror, excuse me, all horror all the time. We'll catch you next time.
Horror, all the time.
Oh, okay, wait. Hold on, Mike. Wait, can I hang on.
No, you
Can
did
you
it.
do-
You did it perfectly.
That
All right.
was no, I didn't know that was perfect. That was epic. Um,
What? Yeah, we'll give you a tag for your show. What is it?
can you,
What's the
so
show?
it would be welcome to Craven Something Scary, where
Okay.
it's all horror all the time.
Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time.
Oh my gosh, that's
There.
gonna be that is amazing.
I want residuals off that if you keep
I,
playing them. Just
I listen. I will give you a residual.
kidding.
If you're a fan of pennies, I'm gonna load you up.
Beer money, right?
Yeah,
Beer money.
exactly. Eventually, yeah.
Ah,
No, that was epic. Thank you
all
for
right.
that. All right, for real this time,
For real.
everybody.
For
We
real. Go to
appreciate it.
bed, y'all.
Go to bed, everybody. And Mike, good night, sir. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. It was so
See
great.
ya. See
See you,
ya.
man.
Bye.
Bye, guys.